The era of Beast Girls begins with a pact with an SSS-Level School Beauty. Hello again, dear adventurers of the multiverse. Thanks for joining us once more on this epic journey. Remember, this story is pure science fiction from our wild imagination. So don't go trying to summon dragons in your backyard. The rights of this amazing novel belong entirely to its original author. We are only the narrators. Do you want more adventures? Show some love to our YouTube channel with a subscription and a like. And if you want exclusive content, our Patreon is waiting for you with open arms. Chapter 601 Deity of Fate, I am your wife. Afterwards, Xie Mengxuan bathed and warmed the bed for Xiao Ye. Finally, she offered herself to Xiao Ye. The time lasted for 4 hours. Afterwards, Xiao Ye and Xie Mengxuan, dressed neatly, stood at the villa entrance. Little maid, will the leakage of your primordial yin affect your future cultivation? No. Relieved by the answer, Xiao Ye smiled and said, I have given you the authority to freely enter and exit the time-space hall. You can come to me anytime you need me. I'm going to accompany your mistress now. He headed outside. Xie Mengxuan stood at the door, waved, and called out, Master, this will not only not delay my cultivation, but it will also promote my endocrine system and speed up my cultivation. I will come to see you often in the future. You must accompany your mistress well and help her regain her memories. Little Nanan is going to cultivate now. Xiao Ye passed through the golden light gate and arrived at the endless void. The ancestral empress and the god of destiny were standing there, quietly looking into the distance. After standing there for only 15 seconds, Xiao Ye, having changed his clothes, appeared beside him through the golden light gate. Fate, didn't you want to see the place that saved me? Let's go now, he said. The ancestral empress flicked her finger, and the three disappeared. Central region of the Rules Realm. The Purple Clan. At this moment, the Purple Clan was holding a grand banquet, firecrackers resounding, celebrating their victory in the clan war. The Ouyang Imperial Clan, after being besieged by the Purple Clan's high-level warriors, was completely annihilated, with no survivors. The Purple Clan had won a great victory. Their fame resounded throughout the entire Rules Realm. The former rulers of the Rules Realm, the Ouyang Imperial Clan, had been defeated by the Purple Clan, and the Purple Clan had become the new rulers of the Rules Realm. This was a fact acknowledged by all forces in the Rules Realm. From this day forward, the Purple Clan was renamed the Purple Imperial Clan. Yunbing and Yunzai's parents, who had only suffered simple memory loss, also regained their memories after memory regression. The four of them also attended the victory celebration banquet. To the regret of everyone in the Xie family, the holy maiden Xiran and young master Xiao Ye were not present. Outside the Xie family's imperial city, Xiao Ye, the ancestral empress, and the deity of destiny appeared. The once ravaged and pitted ground had long since been repaired by the Xie family, becoming perfectly smooth and beautiful. Looking at the smooth, flat ground, Xiao Ye's eyes were filled with complex emotions. He said, Deity of destiny, it was right here that you saved me. You used a transcendent divine power far exceeding your own cultivation level to kill Ouyang Dingshan, the patriarch of the Ouyang Imperial Clan, and brought me back. The deity of destiny stood on the ground, her face calm, but her heart felt extremely oppressed and painful. Even though she tried to suppress it, her tightly furrowed brows betrayed her. Her heart seemed to be saying, I don't want to stay here, this place has given me too many painful memories. The deity of destiny didn't know why she felt such pain. But she needed to face it honestly. The ancestral empress sighed, back then, when the human emperor was held hostage by clan chief Ouyang, I wanted to intervene. Unfortunately, Gu Qingchang's supernatural powers were too domineering, imprisoning all living beings on Blue Star, including me. I could only watch helplessly as Gu Qingchang's body collapsed and vanished due to the unbearable pressure. By the time we regained our mobility, it was already too late for her. Her body was completely annihilated, and her soul was in a state of collapse and slumber. Her heart felt even more oppressed, as if it were being squeezed, about to burst. The deity of fate turned pale, her face contorted with complex emotions. It seems I loved the human emperor deeply before, she said. Even more than my own life. Xiao Ye panicked, pleading, Deity of fate, are you alright? Do you need treatment? The deity of fate gritted her teeth, enduring the pain, and said, yes. The primordial empress shoved Xiao Ye, pushing him towards the deity of fate, and grumbled, Human emperor, this is your wife. Why be so polite? Hurry up and treat her. Xiao Ye gritted his teeth and embraced the deity of fate. Willpower deficiency, Influenced by the willpower instincts of her previous life, she experiences various emotions, including pain, jealousy, heartache, hurt, frustration, happiness, sweetness, and joy. Temporary solution: close contact to transform the negative emotions of the willpower instincts into positive ones. Permanent solution: use the great divine power of reincarnation to restore her memories, releasing her suppressed willpower instincts. This is the treatment plan provided by the template adjuster. Intimate contact with a deity of destiny could alleviate her negative emotions and transform them into positive ones. The deity of destiny's body was soft and fragrant. Xiao Ye whispered, "How are you? Feeling better?" The deity of destiny's inner repression stopped growing and gradually subsided, making her feel much better. However, Xiao Ye's strong masculine aura made her a little shy, her pretty face slightly flushed. "Yes, much better. Human Emperor, my heart hurts, can you massage it for me?" Like last time, the deity of destiny had also come to a realization. Whether she regained her memories or not, she could no longer live without the human emperor from now on. Even if she didn't have much affection for Xiao Ye at the moment, her rationality had already acknowledged that she was the human emperor's wife. She, the deity of destiny, was just Gu Qingcheng who had lost her memories. No matter what, she was still the human emperor's wife. Intimate contact between husband and wife was normal, and having the human emperor massage her heart was nothing. She guessed that before she lost her memories, the human emperor would have already devoured her completely. Xiao Ye's pupils contracted. "Rub it? Yes, hurry up." The goddess of destiny grabbed his hand and placed it in front of her heart, pressing down heavily, urging, "Human emperor, just treat me like Gu Qingcheng. I'm just Gu Qingcheng who has lost her memory. You don't need to be so polite to me." "Okay." Xiao Ye went all out, putting all his strength into rubbing the goddess of destiny's heart. The feel was wonderful. But at this moment, he had no intention of profaning her. He was only trying to heal the negative emotions in the goddess of destiny's heart. The goddess of destiny's suppressed heart finally stopped being suppressed, and the pain disappeared. Not only that, but there was also a sweet, happy, and comfortable feeling filling her heart. These were things she couldn't control rationally. The corners of her mouth couldn't help but turn up. This feeling was so comfortable. The ancestral empress looked away. A couple was being affectionate, and she felt like a third wheel. Time slowly passed, and an hour went by. Xiao Ye held the goddess of destiny's soft body and rubbed it for an hour. Suddenly, his expression changed, his face turning bright red. The deity of fate asked in confusion, "Human emperor, what's wrong?" Xiao Ye suppressed his emotions and said, "My primordial power is about to erupt." "The deity of fate? What does that mean?" Xiao Ye chuckled. His cultivation level rose from the second level of the supreme realm all the way up. The third, fourth, sixth, and eighth levels of the supreme realm, then the perfect realm. Saint realm. And that wasn't all. After breaking through to the saint realm, his cultivation level continued to rise. The second, fourth, sixth, and eighth levels of the saint realm, until he broke through to the perfect saint realm. A dense power of the cycle of reincarnation rules emanated from his body, forming a cycle of reincarnation rule domain around him. His cultivation level was extremely stable, and his aura was extremely steady. Xiao Ye exclaimed in surprise, 1 hour outside should equal about 40 days in the time-space palace. The reincarnation god should have broken through to the second stage of the Emperor realm. The feedback from breaking through to the Emperor realm directly propelled me from the Supreme realm to the Perfect Saint realm. The time difference I can adjust can be increased from 1,001 to 100,001, which translates to 280 years inside equaling 1 day outside. Chapter 602 Terrifying Cultivation Speed. The feedback from breaking through to the Emperor realm is truly terrifying. Xiao Ye, a reincarnation god, broke through from the 10th level of the first stage of the Emperor realm to the first level of the second stage, a major breakthrough. This propelled him from the second level of the Supreme realm to the peak of the Saint realm. Back then, Gu Qingcheng spent over 1,000 years traversing these levels to reach the peak of the Saint realm. He achieved this in just 10 minutes. 28 years in the time-space hall is only 1 day on Earth. The cultivation speed of the Beast Girls will increase dramatically. Advancing 1 level from the mythical level to the Supreme realm requires 1 year. Advancing 1 level from the Saint realm requires 6 years. Half a day outside is 140 years in the time-space hall, meaning all the Beast Girls can advance to the peak of the Saint realm. Advancing one level from the first stage of the Emperor realm with surface level or mythical aptitude requires 30 years. Advancing one minor level from the second stage of the mythical level requires 300 years. When he advances to the Emperor realm, the time difference between the time-space hall and the outside world will be a terrifying 1,000,000 to 1, even more terrifying than the 100,000 to 1 ratio in the Saint realm. At that time, the cultivation speed of the Beast Girls will be faster and faster compared to Blue Star. Xiao Ye thought, releasing the deity of destiny. The deity of destiny, however, grabbed his hand and pressed it against her heart, saying with a hint of shyness, "Human Emperor, I have come to terms with reality. Whether I regain my memories or not, I am your wife. Therefore, please treat me like your wife. I will try to fall in love with you again even without my memories." Xiao Ye was surprised. "Deity of destiny, you don't need to do this, you don't need to make things difficult for yourself, forcing yourself to be with me." The deity of destiny shook her head, her gaze firm, saying, "I am Gu Qingcheng, and Gu Qingcheng is me. I am happy to be with you. I am not forcing myself to be with you. Don't say this again." Xiao Ye gazed at the deity of destiny's fair face, which was exactly like Gu Qingcheng's. He smiled. His heart was filled with both joy and guilt. The deity of destiny had already taken her for Gu Qingcheng, the Gu Qingcheng who had lost her memories? "All right," Xiao Ye said solemnly, "since you don't object, I'm naturally happy to accept. Because you are my wife." Upon hearing the word wife, the deity of destiny was momentarily dazed. An overwhelming and irrepressible sense of happiness welled up within her, filling her entire heart. She felt comfortable and happy all over, and her mental state improved considerably. The commotion of the breakthrough caused an energy surge, alarming the Xie family imperial clan. Immediately, members of the Xie family flew out to investigate. Upon seeing Xiao Ye, they immediately clasped their hands in respect and said, "Greetings, young master." "Young master, the Xie family is holding a victory celebration banquet. Please move to the Xie family's main hall to attend the banquet." Then, he looked at Gu Qingcheng and clasped his hands respectfully again, saying, "Madam, you have been kind to our Xie family. You were a key figure in the Xie family's great victory. Could you please move to the victory celebration hall to attend the banquet?" He had also participated in the clan war and witnessed Tu Yangdingshan being reduced to ashes by Gu Qingcheng's attack. The deity of destiny remained silent, her gaze fixed on Xiao Ye. Xiao Ye's main task now was to accompany the deity of destiny. He smiled and said, "Destiny, would you like to witness a human banquet and eat some human snacks?" The deity of destiny, recalling the stinky tofu she had eaten in Hangzhou, swallowed hard and hesitated. "I am a deity, is it appropriate for me to attend a human banquet?" Xiao Ye smiled faintly, "There's nothing inappropriate about it." After exchanging a few words, the two decided to attend the Xie family's banquet. The ancestral empress's lips twitched, and she called out, "Hey, human emperor, what about me? Are you treating me like I'm invisible? I want to attend the banquet too, and eat human snacks." Before, when the human emperor and destiny were being affectionate, she thought she was a third wheel. Now, the human emperor and destiny really were treating her like a third wheel. Reminded, Xiao Ye smiled awkwardly and readily agreed to go along. The Xie family had no objections. Even if they had objections, they couldn't voice them when their young master invited a friend to a banquet. The two deities curiously followed Xiao Ye into the Xie family's imperial city, and ventured deeper into the Xie family's territory. Before even stepping into the main hall of the Xie family, a cheerful voice tinged with regret echoed from within. "Have the steward bring out half of the Supreme Realm beast meat, 1/10 of the Saint Realm beast meat, and 1 quasi-Emperor Realm beast meat from the Xie family's warehouse. Have the kitchen prepare them into dishes. Also, bring out the 10,000-year-old wine and 10,000-year-old stalactites. Everyone, drink and eat to your heart's content, there's plenty." Alice, it's a pity Ziran and Xiao Ye had to leave, otherwise this celebration banquet would have been perfect. Xiao Ye stopped. With a wave of his hand, a golden portal appeared, and Ziran emerged, looking bewildered. She had already reached the 5th level of the Saint Realm and had originally intended to continue cultivating, but Xiao Ye had summoned her, forcing her to come out. "The Xie family's celebration banquet," Xiao Ye said, and Ziran indicated her understanding. Her sharp eyes suddenly caught sight of the deity of fate holding hands intimately with him, and she exclaimed in surprise, "Deity of fate, have you regained your memories?" The deity of fate denied it. "No." Ziran was puzzled, "I haven't regained my memories yet." Then you two are together? The deity of fate replied coldly, that's right, I am the wife of a human emperor, so it's only natural for me to be with him. Ziran was speechless. Xiao Ye smiled helplessly, alright, we're all at the door, let's all go in and have the feast. The four of them entered, immediately attracting the attention of all the Xie family's higher-ranking members in the hall. Yun Bing, Yun Zai, and the parents were also among them. Xie Dao's eyes lit up, and he stood up and waved, his deep and loud voice ringing out, Ziran, son-in-law, and two friends, over here. Ha ha ha, I was just saying that the banquet couldn't be without Ziran and son-in-law, and you two are here the next second. We really are on the same wavelength, ha ha ha. The Xie family's hall was full of high-ranking members, and the Xie family members were having the feast in the guest hall. The group at Xie Dao's table consisted of Xie Dao and his wife, Yun Bing, Yun Zai, and the parents, 6 people in total. Holy Maiden, young master, please take your seats. Hey, who's that woman the young master is holding hands with? Why worry about that? The Holy Maiden isn't angry, don't concern yourself. Sigh, it's all my fault for being so talkative. The Xie family elders stood up and greeted them one by one. Xiao Ye nodded and followed the others to the main table. Xie Dao took out enlightenment tea from his storage ring, generously offering 2 leaves to brew tea. He smiled and said, son-in-law, my in-laws have also regained their memories. Aren't you going to say something? Xiao Ye looked at the 2 elderly people with white hair beside him and said gently, father-in-law, mother-in-law, my name is Xiao Ye, and I am the husband of Sister Yun Bing and Sister Yun Zai. Yes, I am your son-in-law. How are you both? Is your recovery going well? The 2 elderly people smiled kindly. We've recovered very well, we can live for several hundred more years. Son-in-law, thanks to you for saving us, otherwise we might be gone long ago. Xiao Ye had used himself as a hostage, if he had been in their shoes, they would still remember him. They were deeply moved and accepted Xiao Ye as their son-in-law. Even if their 2 daughters married the same man, they would have no complaints. Because Xiao Ye was worthy of their trust. Xiao Ye nodded and pointed to the deity of fate, saying, this is also my wife, named Gu Qingcheng. Chapter 603 All Beast Girls Break Through to the Emperor Realm. The 2 elderly people were stunned. Besides Ziran, their son-in-law also had a wife named Gu Qingcheng. Yun Bing and Yun Zai had already excitedly arrived beside Gu Qingcheng, chattering, Qingcheng, you're resurrected? That's great, you're not dead. The deity of fate was a little uncomfortable with the 2 women's enthusiasm, and said awkwardly, I am the deity of fate, and I haven't regained my memories yet. Who are you? Yun Bing and Yun Zai's expressions froze. Xiao Ye said softly, this is the deity of fate who has merged with the original body of the rules of fate. She doesn't remember you. Just treat her as Gu Qingcheng, the obsessive entity who has lost her memories. The deity of fate will soon regain her memories and remember everything from before. Yun Bing and Yun Zai's expressions relaxed. So she lost her memories. It's alright, as long as she can regain her memories. A deity? Xie Dao didn't understand, but was greatly shocked. At the quasi-emperor realm, one can already perceive the existence of the power of the original rules. But one cannot yet utilize the power of the original rules. But he had a premonition that the emperor realm was the cultivation of the original rules. But merging with the very essence of the rules? Xie Dao was filled with awe. This must be a powerful being above the emperor realm. Back then, it was Gu Qingcheng who intervened, killing clan Shifu Yangdingshan, allowing the Xie family to achieve victory. He raised a cup of wine, respectfully saying, Senior, thank you for your help earlier. Xie Dao toasts you. I'll drink it, please feel free to drink as you please. Xie Dao drank it all in one gulp. The god of destiny ignored him, picked up her chopsticks, took a few bites of a specialty pastry, and smiled, it tastes good. It tastes the same as it smells. Unlike stinky tofu, which smells bad but tastes good. Xie Dao felt a little embarrassed, his gaze turning to the ancestral empress. This peerless beauty, exuding the majesty of an empress, gave him an unfathomable feeling. He sensed that this woman's realm was also at the emperor realm. Hiss. Having lived for over 10,000 years, he had never seen an emperor realm being before. Today, he had actually seen 2 at once. Xie Dao gasped, then respectfully said, Senior, please feel free to ask if you wish to eat or drink anything. If it's not on the table, I'll have the kitchen prepare it. The ancestral queen ignored him. She ate a few bites of pastries and then stopped. The table was full of ferocious beast meat, including saint-level and quasi-emperor-level beasts. The taste was mediocre. Apart from the strange specialty pastry, stinky tofu, it wasn't enough to whet her appetite. Xie felt awkward again. Xiao Ye smiled and said, "Father-in-law, don't worry about them. These two gods generally don't eat. They have very picky appetites and don't care about ordinary food." Xie suddenly realized. Gods, they were emperor-level beings. The banquet lasted for half a day. Suddenly, Xiao Ye's expression changed, and he said, "I'm about to break through. Father-in-law and mother-in-law, I'll be going now. You all continue eating." In his haste, he summoned a golden light gate and entered the time-space hall. Boom! A thick power of reincarnation origin emanated from Xiao Ye's body. The oppressive aura of the Emperor realm spread out. His cultivation level soared, directly from the perfect saint realm to the perfect quasi-emperor realm. Then, from the perfect quasi-emperor realm, he broke through to the first stage of the emperor realm. He even delved deeper into the first stage of the emperor realm. Feeling the surging, ocean-like cycle origin within his body, he unleashed a punch. The mere force of the punch carried immense power. A mountain range not far away, even taller and more majestic than Mount Everest, was directly flattened by the force of the punch. Xiao Ye was somewhat surprised. The power of the Emperor realm was truly terrifying. Half a day had passed outside, but 140 years had passed in the time-space hall. As soon as he entered, he felt the calls from Cheng Bingxi, Nanguang Xiao, Liu Yan, Mu Qingsu, Zhang Zunyuan, and Huangfu Xiangling. Using the time-space hall's teleportation privileges, Xiao Ye appeared atop the highest mountain range in the center of the world. Clouds and mists swirled, creating a breathtakingly beautiful scene. Inside the super hall, Cheng Bingxi, Nanguang Xiao, Liu Yan, Mu Qingsu, Zhang Zunyuan, and Huangfu Xiangling, 6 stunningly beautiful women, were currently cursing and swearing. "That bastard Xiao Ye. We've cultivated for over 100 years, and he hasn't come to see us even once. HMPH, 140 years. We're all Emperor Realm experts now. Once we get out, we'll capture him and make him keep us company. Why not imprison him in the basement and drain him dry, one a day? Damn it, that stinky man, so hateful. So much time has passed, I wonder how many beast girls and gods that guy has encountered outside, HMPH. Sigh, we've gone from young women to mature women, each of us exuding charm, not like the naive girls we used to be. I wonder if Xiao Ye will still like us. Purple exudes charm?" At this moment, Xiao Ye's figure appeared in the hall. All the women's eyes turned to him, staring intently. "Sister Bingxi, am I hallucinating? Am I just missing him so much that I'm delirious? I saw him too. So, this Xiao Ye is real? Ouch, why are you pinching me? It hurts." "I'm afraid of pain, so I can only pinch you. You can feel pain, which means it's not a hallucination." The women swarmed around Xiao Ye. Xiao Ye was startled by their predatory gazes and hesitated. "Bingxi, Xiao, Qingsu, Liu Yan, Zhang Zunyuan, Xiangling. What do you want? It's only been half a day, but you're acting like we haven't seen each other for ages." Cheng Bingxi snorted. "Half a day? Who are you kidding? We've been cultivating here for 140 years. Nanguang Xiao chimed in. "That's right, we've all advanced to the Emperor realm." Mu Qingsu's eyes were complicated. "I'm at the 5th level of the first stage of the Emperor realm, and I can control time reversal." Liu smiled but didn't say anything. Huangfu Xiangling and Zhang Zunyuan watched expectantly. Xiao Ye nodded and smiled. It's true that 140 years have passed in the time-space palace, but only half a day has passed on Blue Star outside. The time difference between the time-space palace and Blue Star is related to my cultivation level. At the Saint Realm, I can adjust it to a ratio of 100,000 to 1. At the Emperor Realm, I can adjust it to a ratio of 1,000,000 to 1. He immediately adjusted the time difference between the time-space palace and Blue Star to 1,000,000 to 1. This time difference is imperceptible within the time-space palace. Cheng Bingxi said resentfully, "Xiao Ye, our cultivation levels aren't low now, are they? All the beast girls are at the Emperor Realm. You should spend some time with us." The other beast girls chimed in, saying they wanted to live together for a while before cultivating. Xiao Ye readily agreed, "No problem. The current time difference is 1,000,000 to 1. 28,000 years have passed in the time-space palace, but only one day has passed outside. I can stay with you as long as I want in the Time-Space Palace." The Beast Girls were shocked. Nearly 30,000 years have passed in the Time-Space Palace, but only one day has passed outside? That's terrifying. Xiao Ye smiled and said, "Your cultivation levels are still too low. Being just entering the Emperor Realm isn't enough on Blue Star, you need at least the Star Domain Realm. The Time-Space Hall contains complete sets of various rule origins, at all levels. You can try awakening your dormant rule origins and directly absorbing them for cultivation. Your speed will double. I'll spend some time with you for now. Afterwards, I need to go out and accompany Gu Qingchen." Chapter 604 A Land of Gentle Comforts. The time difference between the Time-Space Palace and Blue Star is 1,000,000 to 128,000 years in the Time-Space Palace Great World equals 1 day on Blue Star. Cheng Bingxi is a Supreme Attribute Emperor Realm Cultivator. Nangguang Xiao is a Life and Death Attribute Emperor Realm Cultivator. Mu Qingsu is a Time Attribute Emperor Realm Cultivator. Liu is a Phantom Spirit Attribute Emperor Realm Cultivator. Jiang Zunu is a Starry Sky Beast Attribute Emperor Realm Cultivator. Huangfu Xiangling is a Devouring Attribute Emperor Realm Cultivator. Among them, Jiang Zunu's realm is the highest, at the first stage of Emperor Realm Perfection. Mu Qingsu's realm is second, at the first stage of Emperor Realm, third rank. The remaining Beast Girls are all newly entered Emperor Realm, at the first stage of Emperor Realm, first rank. The corresponding Emperor Realm rules of the Time-Space Palace Great World have also been awakened and controlled by the various Beast Girls. Xiao Ye stayed in the Time-Space Palace for half a year. During these 6 months, none of the Beast Girls cultivated, they spent their days together. However, this was tough on Xiao Ye's kidneys. They were almost always exhausted, and the next day they would be drained dry by another Beast Girl. After breaking through to the Emperor Realm, the Beast Girl was incredibly vigorous. Half a year later, Cheng Bingxi kicked Xiao Ye away, saying disdainfully, "Go keep the God of Destiny company. We need to hurry up and cultivate. If we need anything, we'll come find you ourselves." Nangguang Xiao, Mu Qingsu, Liu Yan, Huangfu Xiangling, and Jiang Zunan waved their hands but said nothing. They all had the authority to freely enter and exit the Time-Space Hall and could leave without Xiao Ye's permission. If they were tired of cultivation, homesick, or lonely, they could freely leave the Time-Space Hall. Xiao Ye left the Time-Space Hall through the Golden Light Gate. On Blue Star, Zuran's realm was the perfect saint realm, the God of Destiny's realm was the early stage of the third phase of the Emperor realm, Yunbing's realm was the fourth level of the Supreme realm, and Yunzai's realm was the second level of the Saint realm. Yunbing's realm was the lowest, only the Supreme realm. At the banquet of the Xie family Imperial clan, everyone was still eating. Xiao Ye had stayed in the Time-Space Hall for half a year, but less than 2 minutes had passed on Blue Star. The Zidao couple simply assumed he had gone to the restroom. "Come on, son-in-law, let's continue drinking. We won't leave until we're drunk." "Huh? I can't even see through your cultivation level." "Father-in-law, I'm at least a mid-stage quasi-emperor." Yunbing and Yunzai also looked on with curiosity. The ancestral empress calmly said, "The first stage of the Emperor realm possesses the auras of the reincarnation origin, the time origin, the life and death origin, the illusionary spirit origin, and the supreme origin. One should be an Emperor realm expert who simultaneously controls these 4 origins. Universal beings in the first stage of the Emperor realm can live for about 100,000 years. Your innate age is only 19. Such talent is astonishing even among the universe's imperial clans." The Zidao couple were dumbfounded. Emperor realm? Son-in-law, you've actually become an Emperor realm expert." Ziran's beautiful eyes widened. "I'm only at the Saint realm perfection stage. And you're already an Emperor realm expert." Yunzai and Yunbing were also extremely shocked. Once, when they were Supremas, Xiao Ye was only at the Grandmaster realm. Now, one of them is a Supreme, the other a Saint, and Xiao Ye has actually broken through to the Emperor realm. Xiao Ye had nothing to hide and immediately replied, "The Emperor realm is just the beginning. Nothing much to say." Cheng Bingxi and the others have all broken through to the Emperor realm, mastering the origins of their respective attributes. Sister Ziran, Sister Yunbing, Sister Yangxi, your realms were the highest back then, but now you're a bit behind. Sister Yunbing, especially you're only at the Supreme realm, you need to cultivate harder. Ziran, Yunbing, and Yangxi's faces were filled with complex emotions. Before, Xiao Ye couldn't even break through their defenses. The first time they exercised, they had to break through their own defenses. Xiao Ye was like a little chick, unable to satisfy them. But now, Xiao Ye has turned the tables, his realm far surpassing theirs. He has reached a legendary emperor realm. Yun Bing said dejectedly, but our cultivation level can't be improved overnight. Breakthroughs require years of accumulation. I cultivated diligently for half a month, using all sorts of resources, before finally breaking through a small realm of the Supreme Realm. How did Binxi and the others suddenly advance to the Emperor Realm? The Zidao couple were also listening. The Emperor Realm was a realm coveted by all the ancient races of the Rule Realm. Yet, hundreds of thousands of years had passed in the Rule Realm, and not a single Emperor Realm expert had been born. They were extremely curious about their son-in-law's sudden breakthrough. Xiao Ye didn't say explicitly, but smiled faintly. The time-space hall. Yun Bing, Yun Zai, and Ziran's pupils constricted, and they immediately understood. Xiao Ye had once said that the time difference in the time-space hall could be upgraded, and Chang Bingxi and the others' sudden advancement to the Emperor Realm was probably closely related to this. Seeing the longing in the three women's eyes, Xiao Ye smiled. No rush. Take care of your own affairs first, and you can return to the time-space hall at any time. I've given you permission to come and go freely. The three women nodded. The Zidao couple were completely bewildered, not understanding a word. They only felt that the words Hall of Time and Space sounded incredibly prestigious. Ha, let's drink. The ancestral empress suddenly changed her expression, slowly standing up, her imperial majesty emanating automatically. The oppressive aura of a perfected third-stage Emperor Realm expert permeated the entire Milky Way. The Zidao couple, the Z family members, everyone in the realm of rules, and all living beings in the mortal world of Blue Star were shocked. All beings were unable to move. That pressure, like the very Dao itself, made it difficult for everyone to breathe. The Zidao couple were secretly alarmed. What realm was this deity beside them, possessing the majesty of an emperor? The primordial empress spoke up. Human Emperor, the star battlefield is in dire straits. The White Horse Galaxy is launching a massive invasion, and our defenses are on the verge of collapse. Would you like to come with me to the star battlefield? She asked. Otherwise, with the sudden loss of so many divine aids from the Five Elements faction, our Milky Way galaxy will be at a severe disadvantage. Xiao Ye nodded, his voice firm and resolute. I'll go with you. As long as they aren't enemies at the third stage of the Emperor Realm, I have a way to annihilate them. The primordial empress smiled. Good. Destiny God, you will protect Blue Star and prevent any extraterrestrial deities from sneaking in and attacking Huangchao. I'm going with a human emperor, the Destiny God replied, indicating no problem. A flash of white light, and the primordial empress and Xiao Ye vanished. The oppressive feeling on all living beings on Blue Star disappeared, and all of them looked up at the sky with lingering fear. Zidao frowned and said, God of Destiny. Xiao Ye has only just entered the Emperor Realm. Won't he be in danger going to that starry sky battlefield? If the sky falls, the tall ones will hold it up. He's only 19. Even with extraordinary talent, he's still just a young man. He shouldn't bear such a heavy burden so early. We haven't even finished our drinks. The God of Destiny glanced at him calmly and said indifferently, It's all right. The human emperor's abilities are beyond our comprehension. He won't be in any danger. Zidao became anxious. Why don't we from the Rules Realm go to that starry sky battlefield and contribute to the Milky Way? Xiao Ye should just stay and live a good life with Ziran. Protecting the Milky Way, protecting Blue Star, is the responsibility of us elders. Ziran smiled sweetly and rolled her eyes. Dad, don't worry about it. What are you going there for? To be cannon fodder? There isn't a single Emperor Realm expert in the Rules Realm. Going there would just be suicide. Although Xiao Ye is only 19, he is more mature and composed than many others. Zidao was somewhat embarrassed. I was just worried that something might happen to my son-in-law. After this commotion, the Z family banquet continued. However, the interstellar battlefield between the Milky Way and the White Horse Galaxy was not so harmonious. Chapter 605 One Man Stands Guard. The interstellar battlefield lies in the transition zone between galaxies. At this moment, the Milky Way's defenses are under full-scale attack from the White Horse Galaxy. Two peak-stage Emperor Realm deities from the White Horse Galaxy, leading over 20 Emperor Realm deities, thousands of quasi-Emperor Realm magical beasts, Tens of thousands of Saint Realm cultivators, and countless Supreme Realm cultivators, are launching a full-scale assault on the Milky Way. The Milky Way's defenses consist of only 3 Emperor Realm deities, with the highest level only at the peak of the second stage of Emperor Realm. Those below the Emperor Realm, transformed into ferocious beasts, are merely cannon fodder. The White Horse Galaxy unleashes countless Emperor Realm primordial divine abilities upon the Milky Way's defenses. In a single exchange, the Milky Way's defenses collapse. This is a one-sided massacre by the White Horse Galaxy. The Milky Way's 3 Emperor Realm deities suffer heavy losses and quickly lose their fighting power. The peak stage Emperor Realm destruction goddess, her body shattered, still retains her will. Looking at her comrades who have lost more than half their number, a deep worry rises in her heart. She vaguely sensed that the invasion from the White Horse Galaxy was too bizarre, as if it knew about the situation of the Blue Star gods and was invading on a massive scale. We're fighting to the death to protect the Milky Way. Our defenses have collapsed, but we haven't collapsed yet. Kill. Even if we die, we'll take someone down with us. We must hold out until Her Majesty the Queen arrives. The Milky Way's ferocious beasts, seeing their countless fallen comrades, were all bloodthirsty. But they did not retreat, still enduring the intense pressure and fighting the White Horse Galaxy's monsters. 2 more minutes passed, and less than a tenth of the Milky Way's monsters had been slaughtered. Shattered heads, broken bones, and crimson blood mist filled the entire battlefield. The White Horse Galaxy's monsters fought with increasing ferocity, suffering losses of less than a tenth. Behind the battlefield, the 2 demon lords of the White Horse Galaxy laughed arrogantly. Hey, the 5 elements gods were right after all. The will of the Blue Star gods has been erased by more than half, leaving them without any supporting forces. Today, the White Horse Demon Realm will take over the Milky Way and destroy Blue Star in one fell swoop. Ancestor Queen, what can you do now that you've come? We have received the favor of the great races of the universe, and my beloved consort Anna have both broken through to the perfect Emperor Realm. Both at the perfect Emperor Realm, 2 against 1, the advantage is mine. A majestic voice rang out from the demon lords, echoing throughout the entire star battlefield. All demon armies of the White Horse Demon Realm, heed my command. Leave no one alive in the Milky Way. Leave them all alive. Kill. Hearing the demon lord's call, the demon army, surging with demonic energy, surged with momentum, and a chilling aura of malevolence filled every corner of the star battlefield. The demon army unleashed all kinds of divine powers, bombarding the remaining ferocious beasts in the Milky Way. The 2 remaining gods shattered and vanished in an instant. The ferocious beast allies were also torn to pieces. Just then, a domineering and violent spatial ripple spread throughout the entire star battlefield. All the ferocious beasts and all the demons were instantly frozen in place, unable to move at all. A golden empress with a body 1,000,000 feet tall suddenly appeared in the center of the battlefield. Her eyes were scorched, and her face was extremely gloomy. The White Horse Demon Realm, damn it! A sentence like a thunderclap exploded in the ears of all the demon army. The demon army coughed up blood, their minds shaken. The 2 demon lords' expressions changed, and their extremely powerful demonic aura spread out, canceling out the spatial confinement. The 2 demon lords' huge demonic bodies appeared on either side of the Ancestral Empress, and they sneered, "Ancestral Empress, your opponent is us. Today, we will definitely bury you in the Starry River." The Ancestral Empress's expression was solemn, and she said, "This is not the place to fight. If you want to fight, then fight. Follow me." The 2 demon lords sneered. Half of the galactic gods had been wiped out, even 2 against 1. They could still overwhelm the primordial empress. The White Horse Galaxy was destined to win this war. The 3 emperor-level perfected gods fled into the void of space. The primordial empress transmitted her voice, "Human Emperor, this is your responsibility. Don't let everyone down." Xiao Ye nodded. The panic of the demon army vanished instantly, their bodies regaining their mobility as they continued their onslaught against the shattered beast army. The severely wounded and dying beasts of the galaxy panicked. Where was the divine support? Had the primordial empress abandoned them? Panic spread through the hearts of the galactic beasts. The demon army laughed wildly, their attitude arrogant. Giving the galactic beast army no time to breathe, the demon army launched a powerful attack, unleashing a deluge of divine powers and innate skills in an instant. We're doomed, the Milky Way is finished. Our blue star will also be infected by the demons and become hell. It's been so long since I've been back to Blue Star. I was hoping to go back and see it someday, but now, I'm afraid that's impossible. The remaining army of ferocious beasts in the Milky Way had lost all hope, their eyes filled with despair. A sense of desolation and sorrow filled the hearts of every beast. Just then, a calm and confident male voice resounded in the ears of the beast army. Who said the Milky Way is finished? It's the White Horse Galaxy that's finished. You all retreat for now. I'll deal with this million-strong demon army. 1 against 5 million, the advantage is mine. Xiao Ye's tall figure appeared before the overwhelming demonic powers, blocking the path of the entire beast army. Though his figure was small, only 1.8 meters tall, insignificant compared to the tens of thousands of meters tall beasts, his broad back seemed capable of supporting everything. Truly upright. This is an unfamiliar god? Holy crap, this is a servant of Blue Star. This person is a newly ascended god of Blue Star. Senior, single-handedly holding off an army of 5 million demons, I kneel before you. Senior, may you rest in peace. We will come down to accompany you later, you won't be lonely down there. My lord, although we've never seen you before, you are truly incredibly cool at this moment. Behind him, the remaining 100,000 ferocious beasts, their cultivation levels below the Emperor realm, all showed respect in their eyes. Xiao Ye's actions commanded their utmost respect. The 3 divine wills watched from the starry battlefield with complex emotions. Cool, truly cool. But this newly ascended human Emperor realm cultivator shouldn't have come to his death. A god's body can be rebuilt after destruction, but a human Emperor realm cultivator who dies is truly dead. Even if one has a burning passion in their heart, this isn't how one should vent it. The 5 million demon army laughed maniacally, sneering, ha ha ha, is this guy out of his mind? Emperor realm? What ability can a newly promoted Emperor realm cultivator have to stop our 20 Emperor realm demon beasts and 5 million demon army? Cannon fodder sent to his death, does he really think he's invincible after breaking through to Emperor realm? Ignorant, a clown. They laughed wantonly, intending to watch with their own eyes how tragically this human Emperor realm cultivator would die. Faced with the overwhelming bombardment of divine powers, he would probably be reduced to ashes. Facing the impending onslaught of divine powers, Xiao Ye's expression remained calm and composed, as if he were facing the collapse of Mount Tai without changing his expression. He waved his hand, and the towering black gold bronze palace appeared before him. Chapter 606 5 million men cannot pass. The black gold bronze palace, towering billions of feet high, stood a formidable barrier before Xiao Ye. Countless terrifying demonic powers bombarded the bronze palace, yet not a ripple was stirred, not even a tremor was felt. The overwhelming demonic powers were blocked outside the bronze palace. And the bronze palace, filled with mysterious runes, remained unmoved. The carefree smiles on the faces of the 5 million demon army and the 20-odd demonic emperors froze. Shock appeared in the pupils reflecting the massive bronze palace as they exclaimed in astonishment, "Ah, what level of treasure is this? It's so powerful. How could an emperor of the Milky Way possess such a powerful treasure? Even our emperor-level divine abilities can't budge this treasure in the slightest. Damn it, how come we've never seen a human emperor before, never seen such a treasure before? Our attack of 5 million demons was blocked by an emperor. What a disgrace." Watching the countless divine abilities they had just unleashed, enough to destroy a star, vanish outside the tower, the faces of the demon army and the 20-odd demonic emperors turned extremely ugly, as if they had eaten dog excrement. Xiao Ye lifted the bronze palace, 100 billion feet tall, with one hand, glanced back, and said calmly, I alone can hold off 5 million demonic troops, the advantage is mine. Behind him, the remaining less than 100,000 ferocious beasts were shocked, their hearts filled with hope. Holy crap! Holy crap! Holy crap! Holy crap! He single-handedly withstood the divine power of 5 million demonic troops without a scratch. A treasure is also part of strength. This emperor-level senior might actually hold the line. Senior, I kneel before you. Who just said the Milky Way was finished? Come out, I'm going to beat them up. That's right, with an emperor-level senior here, anyone who dares to utter a discouraging word, I'll be the first to chop them down. No, I didn't say anything just now, everyone misheard. I said the White Horse Galaxy was finished. The ferocious beast army was filled with fervor, their low morale instantly soaring. The 3 blue star gods, their bodies shattered but existing as wills, were also filled with shock. The newly promoted human emperor-level expert truly could hold off 5 million demonic troops single-handedly. He stood alone, unmoved, blocking the divine attacks of 5 million demonic troops. This aura, this astonishing spirit, reminded them of the former empress. No, even the former progenitor empress wasn't as powerful as this human emperor. Treasures were also part of strength. Even though he was only a newly ascended emperor, his level couldn't conceal his extraordinary talent, his supreme prestige. Thinking this, the three Wabadi deities sighed. Alice, if this human emperor had time to grow, he would likely become a king like the empress. But he's still too young, his level is too low, and he's exposed too early. He can definitely stop the White Horse demonic path's invasion while guarding the Starry Sky battlefield, but without time to cultivate, his talent will be wasted, his level won't increase. The demonic lord of the demonic path knows of his existence and will definitely try to eliminate him in secret. Not everyone can find time to cultivate and grow like the empress, even in difficult situations. Xiao Ye didn't think that way. Growth? He had time to grow. Even with his current level of cultivation, he could still use the Bronze Palace to annihilate all the demonic forces below the third stage of the Emperor Realm. How, warm up over, time for the main course. This intergalactic war should end. Demon chicks of the White Horse Galaxy, prepare for death. He immediately took action, issuing a command to the Bronze Palace, capture all demonic forces present, leave no one alive. Buzz buzz buzz. The billion-foot-tall black gold Bronze Palace he held aloft emitted a series of profound and unpredictable auras. Countless golden chains carved with mysterious runes were instantly hurled out, forming a giant fishing net that covered the demonic army. Far away, the primordial empress and two demon lords were locked in battle. All the divine abilities belonging to the peak of the Emperor Realm were unleashed. Spatial turbulence, spatial upheaval, spatial confinement, spatial shattering. That desolate starry sky was plunged into absolute spatial tremors. The two demon lords, both at the peak of the Emperor Realm, showed no fear. Their overwhelming demonic energy surged skyward, filling the entire starry sky. Countless demonic divine abilities, imbued with profound and mysterious rules, were unleashed in an instant. Spatial divine attacks clashed and annihilated each other with demonic divine abilities. The ancestral empress, fighting 2 against 1, had actually achieved a draw. The two demon lords' faces darkened. The empress was a renowned Emperor Realm perfection expert, while they were merely newly promoted. For a moment, 2 against 1, they hadn't gained the upper hand. In fact, they even seemed to be at a disadvantage. The ancestral empress wasn't fighting the two demon lords with all her might, she was merely restraining them. She was observing the situation on the starry battlefield. Seeing Xiao Ye single-handedly block the demonic army's attack and protect the ferocious beast army, she smiled. That smile was like a snow lotus blooming on an iceberg, pure and beautiful. Human Emperor, you truly haven't disappointed us. That golden fishing net, was it the same one that imprisoned the gods last time? It should be able to handle the demonic army, right? One person annihilating 5 million demonic soldiers, including more than 20 demonic gods. This feat is even more dazzling than her own as the Empress. The two demon lords saw that the ancestral Empress was still in the mood to smile. They immediately understood that she was paying attention to the situation on the starry battlefield. The demon lord's fists hardened. We too are focusing all our efforts on killing you, and you still have the mind to pay attention to others? Don't we have any dignity? Use your trump card and quickly annihilate the ancestral Empress. Judging from her effortless manner, we must finish this quickly. The two demon lords, in perfect unison, released their most powerful demonic abilities. Primal infection. Demonic sky piercing. A terrifying phenomenon unfolded, and the starry sky emitted mournful cries under the demonic power. The starry sky seemed to fall into darkness, destined for eternal decay. As for the target of the demonic divine power, the ancestral Empress curled her lip, withdrew her thoughts, and said calmly, without any restraint, I can go all out. Space annihilated. In an instant, this mournful starry sky suddenly froze. The starry sky rapidly annihilated, like locusts passing through. And everything in the space was annihilated along with it. The demonic divine power, the evil infection divine power, and the sky-piercing divine power all disappeared inch by inch under the annihilation of space. The bodies of the two demonic lords also slowly annihilated, their eyes filled with horror, exclaiming, we are both at the peak of the Emperor Realm, and you were able to kill us instantly. Impossible, absolutely impossible. The ancestral empress said speechlessly, "The peak of the emperor realm, forcibly elevated by external forces, is all bark and no bite. This kind of peak of the emperor realm with little foundation and accumulation is worthy of comparing with me." Sizzle sizzle sizzle. The bodies of the demon lords were completely annihilated. Two evil wills appeared on the starry battlefield. It was the original divine will of the White Horse Demon Emperor Realm Perfected Demon Lord. Their mood was foul and extremely unpleasant. They stubbornly retorted, "We may have lost, but those ferocious beasts and scum in the starry sky battlefield deserve to die. Hell, Ancestor Empress, this isn't the first time we've lost. We'll come back stronger." They were incredibly defiant, but when they saw the situation of the 5 million demon army beneath the golden fishing net, their expressions changed drastically. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 607. A frog in a well gazing at the bright moon. Facing the golden fishing net, the demonic army was utterly disdainful. That treasure is clearly a defensive artifact, lacking offensive capabilities. To think he can use such a treasure to contend with our demonic army is a pipe dream. Seniors at the Emperor Realm, it's time to teach that brat a lesson. Seniors, please make your move and kill that brat. The 20 demonic Emperor Realm deities, however, were deeply alarmed. They sensed a powerful, life or death crisis within the golden fishing net. They exclaimed, "Silence! This giant golden net is no ordinary thing. That treasure is likely a top-tier artifact combining offense and defense. We cannot underestimate it. Let's all work together to break this giant golden net." The demonic army was dumbfounded. That treasure was actually a treasure combining offense and defense? At that moment, the demonic army and the 20 demonic deities attacked simultaneously, unleashing their powerful innate skills and Emperor Realm divine abilities, bombarding the giant golden net. However, the demonic attack, powerful enough to shake the starry sky, vanished without a trace upon contact with a golden net. It was like an egg hitting a rock, causing not a ripple. The magnificent golden net rapidly descended upon the demonic army, completely enveloping them. In an instant, the expressions of the demonic army and demonic gods changed drastically. Their bodies were completely immobilized. Their incredibly powerful divine senses were also bound within their bodies, unable to extend even slightly. Their demonic souls trembled with fear. The demonic gods were even more terrified. They discovered that not only were their divine bodies immobilized, but their primordial will was also completely imprisoned. That was the primordial will. Vague and ethereal, a conceptual void. The golden net could actually imprison a god's will. The two demonic lords watching closely had extremely grim expressions, their spirits plummeting to rock bottom. Unexpectedly, the demonic army and demonic gods were actually imprisoned and blocked by a human Emperor Realm expert. Xiao Ye calmly observed everything. These gods were like frogs at the bottom of a well, looking at him as if he were the bright moon. He issued an order to the Bronze Palace, immediate capture buzz. The mysterious aura emanating from the Bronze Palace tower grew even more enigmatic. The giant golden net tightened, binding the demonic army together. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Swish swish swish. Countless demonic beings vanished within the giant net, captured and brought into the world of the Bronze Palace. In just 1 second, the demonic army had disappeared completely. The bodies of those demonic gods were also captured and brought into the Bronze Palace. In an instant, the demonic army and demonic gods on the starry battlefield had all vanished. Only the stunned army of ferocious beasts and the divine will within the giant golden net remained. Holy crap, am I seeing things? Where did all those demonic beings go? Are you blind? They must have been wiped out by that human Emperor level senior. Hiss, 5 million demonic beings, all dead? Of course they're dead. Where did they go? Senior is mighty. Besides Her Majesty the Empress, I have another idol now. I'm going to draw a portrait of the senior and hang it on the wall to worship day and night. The ferocious beast army was stunned, shocked. The will of the blue star gods was dumbfounded. That young human emperor level being had actually wiped out so many demonic beings. Moreover, the wills of those demonic gods were imprisoned. Even the wills of primordial gods could be imprisoned. This was far more terrifying than wiping out the demonic army. The primordial empress appeared beside Xiao Ye, her towering figure making Xiao Ye appear smaller than one of her delicate, translucent jade feet and pink toes. She looked in surprise at the bronze palace beside her, which was much larger than herself, and exclaimed, "Human Emperor, this tower is something else." Xiao Ye glanced at the enormous, pink jade-like toes beside him, his nose wrinkling slightly. Luckily, the ancestral empress didn't have athlete's foot, or he might have been suffocated by the stench. Hearing the empress's words, he looked up and saw a very beautiful sight. The ancestral empress was wearing a golden phoenix dress, and from his angle, he could even see her underwear. "Hey, Empress, have you always been this big in the starry battlefield? Be careful others don't see your spectacle," Xiao Ye said speechlessly. The ancestral queen blushed slightly and retorted, "Everyone's engaged in fierce fighting, who has the time to watch this like you do? By the way, do you like looking under my skirt? How about I change into some transparent lace and lift my skirt so you can see more clearly?" Ahem. Xiao Ye blushed and waved his hand, "You can wear it privately if you want, don't change here. The most urgent matter is dealing with those divine whales." HMPH. The ancestral queen huffed arrogantly, her body suddenly shrinking from 1,000,000 feet to the size of Xiao Ye. A mischievous smile played on her lips. "Human Emperor, if you want, I can." An empress and a human emperor, a match made in heaven, she silently added in her heart. Xiao Ye looked at her stunningly beautiful face, which didn't seem to be joking, and awkwardly looked away. Transparent lace. Could this empress be serious? Does she have an exhibitionist streak? Holy crap, we're still here, and they're already flirting. Galaxy brat, release us. You can't kill us. How, so what if you imprison us? We gods are immortal. You've got some skill to imprison our wills. Humans? Bah. The demonic army is gone, but we'll rebuild it. Our wills are unkillable. We'll slaughter all the humans in the galaxy to avenge our fallen demonic brothers. The 20 divine wills imprisoned in the golden fishing net cursed and swore, their words as foul as filth. The evil demon lords will also groveled above the starry sky. They remembered the appearance and aura of this human emperor. After returning to the White Horse origin demon realm, they issued an assassination order. They sent their clan's top assassins to smuggle across the galaxy, cross the star defenses, and strike directly at Wang Zhao on Blue Star. Just a newly promoted human emperor, not a primal god. Under the assassination of all the demonic assassins, the human emperor's body will be shattered and the soul obliterated, resulting in complete death. Unlike primal gods, whose will cannot be obliterated and who exist eternally. The ancestral queen sensed the malice from the demon lord's will and said softly, "Human emperor, we'll talk about my transparent lace later. You can obliterate the will of a god, can you now obliterate the wills of these two demon lord gods? These two demon lord wills are the most powerful commanders in the White Horse star system. Once they die, the White Horse star system will be fish to be slaughtered by our Milky Way." Xiao Ye nodded, "Of course, no problem. Demon lords? Mere ants, looking at me is like looking at the blue sky." He immediately issued a command to the will adjuster in his mind, "Obliterate the wills of all demonic gods present." In his hand, a hidden, profound bead floated up. Supreme power shot out. A total of 22. The targets are the 20 demonic divine wills within the golden giant net, and the 2 enormous malevolent wills crawling above the starry battlefield. Chapter 608. A mayfly gazing at the blue sky. In an instant, all the demonic and divine wills froze, including the 2 demonic lords' wills above the starry battlefield. They all felt a life or death crisis, their will warnings reached their maximum, like throbbing in their temples. Their entire will trembled with genuine fear. This feeling, deathly stillness, emptiness, terror, what is this feeling? I feel like I'm going to die. Impossible. Impossible, absolutely impossible. How can a god die? They wailed, they roared in fear, they were in disbelief. The 2 demonic lords' wills, however, remained expressionless. They remembered what the 5 elements gods had told them, there's a human brat, only at the supreme realm, yet he can obliterate the will of a god. 9 gods under my command were all obliterated by that human brat. When you encounter a supreme realm human brat, be extremely careful and don't act rashly. Even my will, at the early stage of the 3rd level of the Emperor realm, was obliterated by a 3rd. You, at the peak of the Emperor realm, could probably be obliterated by that brat too. In the newly ascended human Emperor realm, they saw the shadow of that human brat. But wasn't that human brat a supreme realm cultivator? This is an Emperor realm cultivator, not the same person at all. The Supreme Realm and the Emperor Realm are 2 major realms apart. How could someone advance from the Supreme Realm to the Emperor Realm in just 2 days? Escape, escape quickly. The two demon lord will bodies surged to speeds exceeding the speed of light, fleeing towards the White Horse star system. The divine wills imprisoned by the golden giant net cried out in panic, Demon Lord Ancestor, save us. You can't leave. What will we do if you leave? Demon Lord, you will die a horrible death, abandoning your subordinates so easily. Your reign as Demon Lord is over. Demon Lord, you summoned us to invade the Milky Way, promising to cover our losses and save us. Selfish Demon Lord, you will die a horrible death. Demon Lord. These demonic divine will bodies were struck by the supreme power. They quickly perished, yet uttered curses. The demonic path cultivates evil power that corrupts hearts and minds. Under the leadership of powerful beings, they can barely maintain unity. Without the constraints of powerful beings, they all reveal their vile natures, with even the demon lord cursing and swearing. 2 seconds passed, and the wills of all 20 demonic deities were annihilated by the supreme power, leaving no trace. The demon lord, who had fled 10 light years away, glanced back and was terrified. All the demonic gods and deities on the star battlefield were dead. The sense of crisis in the demon lord's heart had not yet dissipated. One of the demon lord's wills cried out, "Wife, let's go into the black hole at the center of the White Horse star system. Although our wills will be absorbed, as long as we don't die, we can transfer to the origin of the White Horse demon realm. It only consumes some will energy." He shouted, but no sound came from the side. He turned his head and his soul trembled. His will was covered in a cold sweat. He saw that the demon lord next to him had been hit by the supreme power, and his massive will was in a state of annihilation. In just a second, the demon lord's will was completely annihilated, leaving not a trace. The male demon lord's will was horrified. Just then, supreme power descended, striking him precisely. His expression twisted, letting out a miserable wail. The pain of his will's annihilation was 100 times greater than the annihilation of his soul. It was 1,000 times stronger than the agony of being skinned, having tendons pulled out, and bones ripped out. He was in pain, terrified, and confused. Why hadn't his demon lord wife let out a single scream? But before he could ponder these questions, his massive will was rapidly annihilated, completely obliterated in less than a second. Both demon lords were utterly dead. The 20 demonic deities of the White Horse star system also perished. On the star battlefield, the ferocious beast army wept with joy, shouting triumphantly as tears streamed down their faces. All the ferocious beasts believed that the Milky Way would be defeated in this intergalactic war, that the Milky Way would be flattened, and that Blue Star would be destroyed. But now, the Milky Way has won a great victory. Even with the loss of over 900,000 ferocious beasts and the loss of 2 divine bodies, the demonic army of the White Horse Galaxy was wiped out completely, leaving not a trace. And the key to all this was that insignificant human emperor-level being who held up a tower billions of feet tall. The wills of the 3 blue star gods prostrate in the starry sky were stunned. In hundreds of thousands of years of battle, this was the only time they had achieved a complete and utter victory. That newly promoted human emperor-level being was even more dazzling and outstanding than the empress. Xiao Ye, who held up a black gold bronze palace billions of feet tall in one hand, stood with the ancestral empress, his gaze calmly fixed on the distance. After a long silence, the ancestor empress sighed and said, "The demon lord who has ruled the White Horse Galaxy for over 400,000 years has finally fallen. The glory of the White Horse Galaxy for hundreds of thousands of years has also come to an end, and it will fall into a long period of decline. Without an opponent, I might have a lot more free time from now on." Suddenly, her eyes gleamed as she stared intently at Xiao Ye, a mischievous smile playing on her lips. "Human Emperor, you have to take responsibility for him." Xiao Ye's eyes widened, his lips twitching. Take responsibility? That sounded very ambiguous. It made it seem like he had done something to the Empress. Take responsibility for what? "I didn't do anything to you," he said warily. The primordial Empress chuckled, "You've left them with nothing to do, so I'll be bothering you all the time. For hundreds of thousands of years, my only rivals have been 2 demon lords. They can't kill me, and I can't kill them. Every 20,000 years or so, they launch massive intergalactic wars, and I will obliterate their bodies then, and retire in triumph. In the past, after 20,000 years, they would reassemble, leading their demonic armies and demonic gods back. And I, every 20,000 years or so, abduct all the living beings of the mortal world of Blue Star to use as cannon fodder, filling my army of ferocious beasts. Of course, not just Blue Star, but many inhabited planets in the Milky Way. I treat them all equally, capturing them all as cannon fodder. Xiao Ye was stunned. No wonder the ancient era of Blue Star 20,000 years ago had completely vanished. The time was exactly close to 20,000 years. When the Empress first met him, she also said that the intergalactic battlefield was about to begin, and the era of the Blue Star Beast Girls was almost over. She intended to abduct all humans and ferocious beasts from the mortal realm of Blue Star to use as cannon fodder. Xiao Ye glanced at the less than 100,000 ferocious beasts behind him, his expression complex. The ancestral queen said she wanted these people to be cannon fodder. But the ferocious beast army had no awareness of being cannon fodder. They were all thinking of sacrificing their lives to protect the Milky Way and their home. The ancestral queen wouldn't just stand by and watch the ferocious beast army be slaughtered and sent to their deaths. Otherwise, she wouldn't have suddenly become angry and brought him here when the Xie family imperial clan was feasting. Every 20,000 years, the ancestral queen forcibly abducted beings from the Milky Way to the star battlefield. Was this practice wrong? Or right? It couldn't be said to be right, nor could it be said to be wrong. Without the ancestral queen suppressing the star battlefield, the Milky Way would have long been trampled flat by the demonic army of the White Horse star system and infected by those demonic forces. How could there be the Milky Way now, at least on the surface, seemingly peaceful and harmonious? At least for the next 20,000 years, the beings of the Milky Way will live in relative harmony and peace. The primordial queen sighed, "Human Emperor, all beings in the Milky Way should thank you. Without you, I would have captured most of the Milky Way's beings yesterday to use as cannon fodder. Without the aid of the Blue Star gods, almost all of these cannon fodder would have perished, and you indirectly saved their lives. Your reputation as human emperor should resound throughout the Milky Way." Xiao Ye waved his hand dismissively, saying, "No need. I don't crave such empty fame. I am also a part of Blue Star. Repelling the White Horse demon path was my duty. They don't need to thank me." His words, spoken with a smile, concealed his true merit and fame. Chapter 609 The Deity of Fate. There are two Gu King Chengs? The ancestral empress's expression was complex. The human emperor, so indifferent to fame and fortune, so utterly incorruptible. Was this truly the human emperor? Only someone with such a character could be chosen by heaven to possess the destiny of an emperor. If Xiao Ye knew what she was thinking, he'd probably be so embarrassed he'd dig a hole in the ground with his toes. Wherever he went, it wasn't exactly like plucking feathers from a passing goose, but at least like a locust plague. Everything was based on self-interest. Behind them, the army of ferocious beasts already regarded Xiao Ye as an equal to the ancestral empress. Seeing the two standing side by side, chatting and laughing, they even felt a sense of perfect harmony, like a match made in heaven. The will of the Blue Star God spoke, "Human Emperor, Ancestral Empress, the Milky Way has achieved a great victory this time. The White Horse Demon Clan has been completely annihilated. The three of us will return to Blue Star to recuperate first. The matter of the Starry Great Wall is entrusted to you." The Ancestral Empress nodded, indicating no problem. Xiao Ye was puzzled. He glanced at the distance behind him. A magnificent, long, narrow star city once encircled the Milky Way. However, this star city was severely damaged in the recent battle. At first glance, only ruins and meteorites remained. Only upon closer inspection could one vaguely discern that it was indeed a long, narrow star city. The wills of the three annihilated gods faded into the distance, and the voice of the primordial queen resounded throughout the starry sky. "Let me introduce you to this man, the human emperor, who possesses the destiny of a human emperor. The human emperor who led the rise of the Milky Way. From now on, when you see him, you will see me." The 100,000 ferocious beasts were stunned. The human emperor. He was actually the human emperor. After a moment of silence, a series of resounding clangs echoed through the starry sky. "We pay our respects to the human emperor. The human emperor is mighty, single-handedly annihilating the demonic army." Seeing their reverent gazes and their kneeling posture as they greeted him, Xiao Ye, holding a black gold bronze palace billions of feet tall in one hand, felt the aura of the human emperor emanating from him grow even stronger. He calmly declared, "All generals, heed my command, repair the starry sky Great Wall. Though the White Horse demonic path is destroyed, the starry sky still needs defense. After repairing the starry sky Great Wall, You may take turns returning to your home planets to visit your ancestral lands and inform them of the events of the Starry Sky battlefield. You may choose to have your descendants succeed you in guarding the Starry Sky. Upon hearing this, the eyes of the 100,000 ferocious beasts lit up. Returning home to visit relatives was something they wouldn't have dared to dream of before, because the Empress forbade it. But the human emperor, upon ascending the throne, broke this rule, even allowing their descendants to take over the duty of guarding the Starry Sky. The human emperor is mighty. From now on, we will follow the human emperor's lead and obey his commands. The human emperor, as expected of the human emperor, is so humane. The human emperor, you are my idol. I will frame you and worship you day and night. I suggest building a statue of the human emperor in the Starry Sky main city so that our descendants can witness his divine might. Xiao Ye's actions won the hearts of the 100,000 ferocious beasts. This further increased their admiration and respect. The ancestral empress, watching Xiao Ye's moment of glory beside her, felt her heart inexplicably raise, her pretty face flush slightly, and her legs tighten slightly. The human emperor was so handsome at this moment, so incredibly handsome. Perhaps, the human emperor was more qualified to be a leader than she, the empress. Xiao Ye, looking at the army of ferocious beasts, was completely unaware of the empress's gaze upon him, her eyes filled with a seductive allure, staring intently at him. Blue Star, the central region of the rules realm, the Xie family imperial clan. The victory banquet was still underway, the atmosphere lively and enthusiastic. The Xie Dao couple, Ziran, Yunbing, and Yunzai were enjoying the feast immensely. The goddess of destiny sat quietly in her seat, her expression indifferent, as if everything around her was irrelevant. She was somewhat troubled. Sitting here, her thoughts wandered elsewhere. The image of the human emperor appeared in her mind from time to time, lingering there. The goddess of destiny stared blankly, asking herself, what was wrong with her? No pain came from within. The image of the human emperor floated into her mind, not from her own inner turmoil, but from an uncontrollable urge to think of him. She wasn't worried about his safety. With a primordial empress by his side, he would be safe. Am I in love with a human emperor? Having investigated the fates of so many humans, this is the behavior of someone who's fallen for the opposite sex. But why would I fall for the human emperor? I am the goddess of destiny. Ziran's voice came through. Xiaobing, Xiaozai, we wonder how our best friend King Chang is doing in the future. Did she see us in the future after she went to the future? Yunbing said casually. Of course she did. As long as we're not dead in the future, she must have seen us, Xiao Ye, and her in the future. The goddess of destiny suddenly awoke. Gu King Chang went to the future? That can't be right, isn't she? The goddess of destiny, Gu King Cheng? How come there's another Gu King Cheng? Young Xie calmly analyzed. I estimate that after King Chang went to the future, her soul injuries were most likely healed, and her body was recreated. According to what the King Chang in her lingering form said, the future Xiao Ye has become the supreme being of the universe. Healing a soul and reshaping a body are extremely difficult for us now, but for the future Xiao Ye, it should be the simplest thing. What I find strange is why King Chang hasn't returned from time travel yet. Time travel is a very mysterious thing. King Chang traveled away half a day ago, she should have returned alive and well the next second. Ziran exclaimed, King Chang couldn't possibly be in trouble. Why are we worrying about this and that? Just wait. Maybe King Chang will return from time travel in the next few days. We've only been gone a day or two, maybe King Chang has already been in the future for hundreds of thousands of years. Hundreds of thousands of years? Yunbing's lips twitched. Would that mean King Chang would become an old woman? No, we need to explain to Xiao Ye that we can't let King Chang stay in the future for too long. Time will erase everything, including feelings and friendships. What if she stays in the future for too long and doesn't remember us? The goddess of destiny listened quietly, her expression somewhat dazed. There really was a Gu King Chang sent to the future. The human emperor loved Gu King Chang. Then what about her, the goddess of destiny? It's impossible for two Gu King Changs to exist at the same time. Everyone says that she, the goddess of destiny, is Gu King Chang. And she truly loves the human emperor very much? This is too strange. When the human emperor returns, we must ask him clearly. Who exactly is she, the goddess of destiny? Another half hour passed. Xiao Ye and the ancestral empress appeared at the banquet. Xie Dao was overjoyed and hurriedly pulled Xiao Ye over, checking him up and down, touching him here and there. Xiao Ye hurriedly grabbed Zidao's hand, which was about to touch something inappropriate, and said with a twitch at the corner of his mouth, "Father-in-law, what are you doing? I don't like men. Besides, even if you have that kind of fetish, you can't lay a hand on me. I'm your son-in-law." Zidao was stunned. Seeing his wife scrutinizing him, he was very embarrassed and said, "My orientation is normal. Son-in-law, I checked you over. You're not injured. That's great. That starry sky battlefield is so dangerous. You shouldn't go there anymore. If the sky falls, there are tall people to hold it up. It's not your turn, a young man, to bear pressure and responsibility that you shouldn't have to bear at your age." Chapter 610 Deity of Fate. I'm not willing to be a substitute. The Deity of Fate was about to offer Xiao Ye the empty seat next to her when Ziran and Yunbing pulled him aside and sat down between them, chattering. "Xiao Ye, can you contact King Cheng? Can you get King Cheng back soon? We can't let her stay in the future too long. What if she stays too long and doesn't want to come back? What if she's been in the future for hundreds of thousands of years and turned into an old woman? What if she forgets our friendship? And what if she stays in the future too long and your future self gets lustful and makes a move on her?" Xiao Ye was speechless, dumbfounded. "Aren't you guys overthinking this? King Cheng isn't that kind of person. She should know where her home is and which time period belongs to her. My future self already has my future King Cheng. Would I still want a mere immature girl like her? Impossible." Yunzai calmly said, "Xiao Ye, you should give King Cheng some information and get her back as soon as possible to avoid any unforeseen complications." Ziran and Yunbing nodded in agreement. Xiao Ye was helpless and could only say, "Alright, I'm not sure if I can contact Sister King Cheng who has gone to the future, but I'll try my best." Ziran, Yunbing, and Yunzai breathed a sigh of relief. The goddess of destiny looked at Xiao Ye in the distance with a gloomy expression, her snow-white teeth tightly biting her cherry-like lower lip, leaving white marks, showing how hard she was biting. Gu Qingcheng was the human emperor's wife, and the human emperor had already sent Gu Qingcheng to the future. So who was she, the goddess of destiny? She had just realized that she was a little fond of the human emperor, but then she learned that there was another Gu Qingcheng. The human emperor liked Gu Qingcheng, but what did the human emperor take her, the goddess of destiny, for? The ancestral empress, with her sharp eyes, noticed that something was wrong with the goddess of destiny and said softly, "Human emperor, the goddess of destiny is acting a little strange. Can you tell what's wrong? Goddess of destiny, what's wrong? Are you in a bad mood?" Xiao Ye frowned and said, "Goddess of destiny, are you not used to the local specialties?" The goddess of destiny shook her head and did not speak. Ziran and Yunbing exchanged a glance, their minds in perfect unison, and said, "Xiao Ye, why don't you take the destiny goddess out for a stroll? She probably feels a little uncomfortable seeing you surrounded by so many beast girls, with us all fawning over you." They were incredibly generous to the beast girl family. They never intended to monopolize Xiao Ye. Xiao Ye stood up and privately transmitted information to Ziran, Yunbing, and Yunzai about the upgrade of the time difference in the time-space palace. Then, holding the destiny goddess's hand, he walked out of the Xie family's main hall. The ancestral empress's expression shifted slightly, and she followed. Zidao, slightly drunk, said, "Daughter, you've finally come back. Spend some time talking with us. You should stay home these next few days." Ziran nodded. She could enter the time-space palace to cultivate during her nighttime rest. The time difference between the time-space palace and Blue Star was 28,000 years to 1 day, a difference that astonished her. She estimated that if she entered the time-space palace at midnight and emerged the next morning, her cultivation level would likely skyrocket. Young Xie and Yunbing lost their appetite for the feast. But with their parents still present, they planned to enter the time-space hall during their rest time that night to seize the opportunity to cultivate and improve their cultivation levels. Currently, Cheng Bingxi and the other beast girls had all broken through to the Emperor realm, leaving only a few of them still below it. Previously, their cultivation levels far surpassed Cheng Bingxi and the other beast girls, but now, the tables had turned. Their cultivation levels were far inferior to Cheng Bingxi and the other beast girls. As fellow beast girls of Xiao Ye, they were unwilling to fall behind. Meanwhile, on the inner city avenue of the Xie family imperial clan, Xiao Ye walked side by side with the god of destiny and the ancestral empress. The atmosphere was somewhat oppressive. The god of destiny and the ancestral empress remained silent. Both women had their own thoughts, occasionally stealing glances at Xiao Ye's handsome profile. The god of destiny's eyes held a hint of resentment, as if they had lost their light, her mood quite somber. The ancestral empress, however, resembled a young girl experiencing first love, stealing glances at Xiao Ye, her pretty face slightly flushed, a touch of shyness in her heart. Xiao Ye's attention was focused on the deity of destiny, oblivious to the ancestral empress's unusual demeanor. He broke the silence, his magnetic voice ringing out, "Deity of destiny, I have many beast girls. Cheng Bingxi, Nanguang Xiao, Mu Qingsu, Liu Yan, Zuran, Yun Bing, Yun Zai, Gu Qingcheng, Qinzir, plus Huang Fu Xiangling and the reincarnation deity, that makes 11 in total. These beast girls, except for my first love Cheng Bingxi, I treat them all equally. I won't favor any of them, nor will I neglect any of them. The reincarnation deity will most likely break through to the star domain realm in one day of blue star time. At that time, she will be able to use her great divine powers to restore your memories. You are also my wife, but I cannot devote all my energy to you. I'm sorry." The deity of destiny's eyes dimmed, saying, "I know all this, you don't need to apologize to me." The ancestral empress interjected, "I know that too." Xiao Ye was puzzled. "Deity of destiny, you seem to be in a bad mood. What's wrong? Can you tell me? Perhaps I can cheer you up." The deity of destiny felt there was no point in hiding anything and voiced her inner confusion. "Human emperor, you sent Gu Qingcheng to the future. This means Gu Qingcheng didn't die at all. There can't be two identical people in the world. Then who am I?" She took out a delicate little box engraved with the 3 characters Gu Qingcheng, saying, "Is this the fruit of our love that you collected for me?" Xiao Ye's eyes were complicated. He said, "You are also Gu Qingcheng. But you are the obsession body of Gu Qingcheng, separated from the future Gu Qingcheng, and the obsession body's soul returned via the time travel bead. As for the owner of this little box, it's not you. It belongs to Sister Qingcheng." With a clatter, the delicate little box fell to the ground. The deity of destiny's face turned pale, her eyes becoming empty. "I am just an obsession body? I am not the real Gu Qingcheng. Then what is the meaning of my existence? A substitute for Gu Qingcheng?" She had always believed that she was Gu Qingcheng. She treated the exquisite little box as her own. But the human emperor said she wasn't the real Gu Qingcheng, but a manifestation of obsession. She couldn't accept this cruel reality. The ancestral empress frowned. The deity of destiny was in poor condition, her very essence chaotic, her emotions fluctuating wildly. Xiao Ye spoke up, "Deity of destiny, you are not a substitute. Gu Qingcheng is Gu Qingcheng, and the manifestation of obsession is still the manifestation of obsession, two individuals with similar destinies, sharing the same origin and divine soul. Two similar flowers, but not the same person." The deity of destiny shook her head violently, her emotions running high, her expression unpredictable. "No, an obsession separated from a complete individual is not a complete individual. Human emperor, you must have used me as a substitute for Gu Qingcheng. I look exactly like her, every physical detail is the same. She was sent to the future, and you replaced her. As soon as she returns, I lose my value. I, the deity of destiny, refuse to be used as a substitute." Chapter 611, A Date with the Queen of Fate. Xiao Ye frowned, helplessly watching the extremely agitated goddess of destiny. He tried to comfort her, explaining, "Goddess of destiny, I told you, you are not a substitute for anyone. You are Gu Qingcheng's obsession body, a completely independent individual, a new life, a brand new deity." But the goddess of destiny wouldn't listen. The mere mention of substitute seemed to set her ablaze, her emotions running high. The ancestral empress followed the goddess of destiny's words, saying, "Destiny, if that's how you see it, there's nothing we can do. According to you, at least you have value now. Before Gu Qingcheng returned from the future, you were Gu Qingcheng. The human emperor and I also consider you Gu Qingcheng. The obsession body Gu Qingcheng was still Gu Qingcheng." Upon hearing this, the goddess of destiny miraculously calmed down. Her expression became serene, and she took Xiao Ye's arm, embracing him tightly. Her eyes, as clear as autumn water, became captivating, staring intently at Xiao Ye. Her cherry-like lips twitched for a moment before she said, "Your Majesty, during the time Gu Qingcheng hasn't returned, I am Gu Qingcheng, your wife. Since I am your wife, then we should do what husband and wife should do. Let's go on a date." "Xiao Ye?" He was astonished. The deity's reaction was strange. She had just said she was unwilling to be a substitute, and now she wanted to go on a date with him. What was going on? Shouldn't she just kick him away? However, the deity was the amnesiac, obsessive version of King Cheng, and her request. Xiao Ye smiled softly. Okay, whatever you say. The deity struggled internally for a moment, then stopped. She realized she had fallen in love with the emperor. Perhaps it was due to her inner influence, or perhaps it was because of her interactions with him during this time, which had caused her mind to develop feelings for him. She would never love anyone else again, only the Emperor Xiao Ye. Rather than leaving now and never seeing the Emperor again, she longed to leave behind a beautiful memory for her life. It might only be for a day, or perhaps only for a few hours. But that was enough. The deity of fate parted her rosy lips slightly, her voice clear and yearning. Human Emperor, then let's do all the things couples do on a date. I've seen many human destinies. Dates usually involve shopping, eating hot pot, watching movies, booking hotel rooms, and so on. Xiao Ye replied, okay, whatever you say. This purple family holy city has all these facilities, so shall we have a date here? The deity of fate nodded. She released Xiao Ye, placing her delicate, translucent, boneless white hand in front of him, her face full of anticipation, and said crisply, hold hands. Xiao Ye was taken aback, then immediately took her hand and grasped it tightly. The deity's hand was very cool, very icy, unlike a human's 36-degree temperature. It was as if you were holding a soft, boneless, crystal-clear gem of destiny's essence, emanating an extremely rich power of destiny's essence. The two exchanged a glance, stood side by side, and headed towards the mall. Behind them, the primordial queen pouted in dissatisfaction, a slight pang of bitterness rising in her heart. She hurriedly followed. Human Emperor, the goddess of destiny is acting very strangely. I need to stay and watch over her. Xiao Ye felt a cool, soft touch on his other hand. He was taken aback. Fine, come on over. Then why are you holding my hand? Shouldn't you be holding the goddess of destiny's hand? A hint of suspicion appeared on the goddess of destiny's stunningly beautiful face. The primordial queen's eyes darted away, and she stammered, I'm protecting you. If the goddess of destiny's emotions fluctuate too much and her primordial power goes berserk, holding your hand and getting closer to you will allow me to protect you in time. Human Emperor, don't overthink it. I'm not the kind of god who likes to hold men's hands. Xiao Ye suddenly understood. Oh, that's fine then. A glint flashed in the goddess of destiny's beautiful eyes. She saw through the primordial queen's flustered heart and shy expression. Oh no. The primordial empress has also taken a liking to the human emperor. Has my empress sister fallen for him too? This top deity, who commands the starry army and stands at the pinnacle of the Milky Way, can also be attracted to a man? The goddess of destiny sighed. She wasn't opposed to the human emperor interacting with other women. Even if this was the primordial empress, she wouldn't object. However, this date, ostensibly between her and the human emperor, was actually a date between the human emperor and both she and the primordial empress. The goddess of destiny chuckled, then let's go together. Let's go shopping and buy some clothes. She didn't covet much, just creating some beautiful memories with a human emperor would be enough. To avoid regrets when she left him. The primordial empress was overjoyed, her eyes crinkling into crescent moons with laughter. Xiao Ye sensed something was amiss, but couldn't quite put his finger on it. So, he took one deity's hand in each hand and strolled through the purple family holy city, heading towards the largest shopping mall. A golden couple, or rather, one man and two women, attracted the attention of many residents on the street. They rubbed their eyes, saying in disbelief, holy crap, am I seeing things? That man sandwiched between two stunning beauties looks like our young master, Xiao Ye. I saw him too, but how could that be? Isn't the young master and the holy maiden a couple? It must be someone who looks similar. Rumor has it that the young master only has the holy maiden as his woman and never gets involved with other women. This person is definitely not the young master. None of this affected Xiao Ye and his companions. Xiao Ye, holding the hands of the two stunning beauties, entered the shopping mall. A super shopping mall with 120 floors. Floors 1 through 10 had many snack shops, while floors 10 through 20th were mostly entertainment shops. The three of them had a very clear goal in the crowd, the stinky tofu shop. Squeezing through the surging crowd, they plunged into the stinky tofu shop. Perhaps because fewer people like stinky tofu, Compared to the bustling crowds at other snack shops, this shop seemed rather deserted, with only a handful of customers in the large store. Human Emperor, I want to eat stinky tofu. The goddess of destiny eagerly awaited. The first empress's voice followed, Human Emperor, me too. Xiao Ye pulled them to a seat by the window and called out, Boss, 3 tons of stinky tofu, please. The portly but agile boss nodded, all right, 3 meals, right? Coming right away. Not 3 meals, 3 tons, the tons of tons. Xiao Ye corrected, bring it all up, we'll take the leftovers home. The fat boss was overjoyed, sir. Don't just say 3 tons, we can have 31,000 tons. This was a big customer. A minute later, the chubby owner brought over a 20-layer box of stinky tofu. His small eyes suddenly widened, and he exclaimed, holy crap. Young Masters presents as an honor to our humble establishment, he exclaimed. Young Master, please enjoy your meal. This meal is on me, it's on the house. Then I won't be polite. Xiao Ye opened 3 boxes and handed them to the deity and the primordial queen, smiling. The flavor of the stinky tofu might be slightly different from the Hangzhou specialty. Eat up. But the deity stared at him longingly, muttering, I want you to feed me. The primordial queen smacked her lips, me too. Chapter 612 The final step of the date. The shopkeeper's small eyes widened, and he gave a thumbs up. Young Master is really something, bringing 2 stunning beauties to eat stinky tofu, and doing it all so amicably. He tactfully walked away. Xiao Ye stared at the 2 goddesses with their rosy lips twitching, and said, Ancestor Queen, what are you doing here? I can feed the god of destiny, but you want me to feed you stinky tofu? With that, he picked up a toothpick, stuck a tempting piece of stinky tofu in, and offered it to the god of destiny. The god of destiny took it in one bite, accidentally sucking on Xiao Ye's hand, and licking her lips. Xiao Ye withdrew his hand as if touched, a trace of glistening moisture remaining on his fingers. The Ancestor Queen, slightly bored, listlessly picked up a piece of stinky tofu and ate it herself. Fine, I won't feed you then. I'll eat by myself. HMPH. Who cares if you feed me? Xiao Ye didn't pay attention to her, didn't notice her pouting lips and puffed out cheeks in dissatisfaction. A smile flashed in the eyes of the goddess of fate. She secretly set up a recording stone, intending to record the scene of her date with a human emperor and secretly watch it when she was alone later. After Gu Qingchang returned from the future, she had no place. The place she was sitting in now belonged to Gu Qingcheng. She was ultimately a substitute, a temporary replacement for Gu Qingcheng. Stinky tofu smelled terrible, like being in a toilet, but it was smooth and soft, sizzling with oil, the delicious oil filling the entire mouth. The goddess of fate squinted her eyes, looking very pleased, intoxicated by what she considered this fleeting beauty. She picked up a piece of stinky tofu with one hand and said, Human Emperor, open your mouth. Xiao Ye opened his mouth in astonishment. She didn't use a toothpick, but just grabbed it with her hand. To their astonishment, the god of fate stuffed the stinky tofu into their mouths. Xiao Ye chewed slowly, as if tasting the god of fate himself. HMPH, came a cold snort from the ancestral queen beside them. Neither Xiao Ye nor the god of fate paid her any attention. Time slowly passed, and the 2 ate 2 boxes of stinky tofu, preparing to leave. Turning around, Xiao Ye was shocked. Of the full 120 boxes of stinky tofu, only a tiny bit remained, the rest had been completely devoured by the ancestral queen. The ancestral queen crunched the stinky tofu with tremendous force, as if the stinky tofu had a grudge against her. What was supposed to be smooth and tender stinky tofu had been turned into a crunchy potato chip by her. Your Majesty, are you a pig? 3 tons of stinky tofu, and you ate 2 tons. Is your stomach a bottomless pit? Xiao Ye exclaimed in shock. The ancestral queen snorted coldly, none of your business. I like to eat it, what's it to you? Boss, another 10 tons, please. I'll pack it all up. The boss watched from afar, tears welling up in his eyes. The ingredients for this stinky tofu all require the meat of a great venerable realm magical beast. These 3 tons have completely depleted his inventory. Young Master's wife, why don't you come again next month? We're out of stock. He was almost in tears. This free meal meant 10 years of hard work for nothing. If another 10 tons came, he'd be losing everything, even his underwear. The ancestral empress complained, out of stock? This shop is in such a prime location, and you only prepare this much? The god of destiny covered his mouth and chuckled, casually placing a Saint Realm perfected magical beast core on the table. Boss, no need. We'll come again next time. Your stinky tofu shop is excellent. The taste is exactly the same as the one in Hangzhou in the mortal world, without the slightest difference. The fat shop owner's eyes were drawn to the Saint Realm Perfection crystal core on the table, unable to look away. He said expectantly, "Young masters, madam, I'm from Hangzhou. I was recruited by the Xie family holy clan 5,000 years ago and joined the reclusive Xie family. My stinky tofu is a Hangzhou ancestral recipe." Xiao Ye left with a destiny god, and the ancestral empress also took out a quasi-emperor realm crystal core and tossed it to the fat shop owner, saying, "Prepare more for stock." The fat shop owner nodded and bowed hastily in agreement. A Saint Realm Perfection crystal core plus a quasi-emperor realm crystal core was worth dozens of times more than his entire fortune. The ancestral empress glanced resentfully at Xiao Ye and the destiny god as they left, snorted, and hurriedly followed. The human emperor was loyal and righteous, not seeking fame or fortune. But he was promiscuous, he had too many beast girls. Clearly, the human emperor and the empress were a match made in heaven. Xiao Ye and the deity of destiny strolled through the streets, chatting and laughing, taking in the bustling crowds, the vendors' stalls, and the circus performances. They witnessed the prosperity of the human world. The deity of destiny was very happy, a look of satisfaction on its face. Suddenly, Xiao Ye's other hand was intertwined with the first queen's, their fingers tightly clasped. Xiao Ye turned his head and saw the first queen's upturned lips. Perhaps sensing his gaze, the first queen gave a cold snort and turned her head away. Xiao Ye was completely bewildered. Time slowly passed. Xiao Ye accompanied the deity of destiny and the first queen to see a movie. As darkness fell, evening arrived without them noticing. The three walked out of the cinema. The deity of destiny was very happy, grinning sheepishly. The first queen, on the other hand, had such a pouty mouth that it could hang clothes out to dry. Xiao Ye glanced at the sky. About 4 hours had passed since they left the banquet. His cultivation level received feedback, advancing to the second stage of the third phase of the Emperor Realm. This meant that Cheng Bingxi, Nanguang and the others had almost all reached the second phase of the Emperor Realm, having spent approximately 6,000 years in the Hall of Time and Space. The deity of destiny, with a simple and honest hand, wiped the popcorn off Xiao Ye's face and chuckled, "Human Emperor, it's time for the final step of our date. Get a room." The ancestral empress instinctively exclaimed, "Me too." Xiao Ye was taken aback. "Deity of destiny, you haven't regained your memories yet. Are you really going to book a hotel room with me? You'd better think it over." The deity of destiny was indeed Gu Qingchang's obsessive body, but the deity of destiny without regained memories was a completely new individual. Xiao Ye was somewhat confused. How could the deity of destiny be so audacious as to dare book a hotel room with him? Had the deity of destiny fallen for him? While eating stinky tofu, shopping, and watching movies, he had a strange feeling. The deity of destiny liked him. But Xiao Ye immediately rejected this feeling, one of the three great illusions of life. How could that be? The person next to him was the deity of destiny, a deity who hadn't yet regained her memories. The deity of destiny didn't reply, but her actions proved her resolve. She took Xiao Ye's hand and led him into a magnificent 10-star hotel. With a thud, a Saint Realm Perfection crystal core was slammed onto the reception desk, and she said, "Presidential suite." The receptionist's eyes lit up, and with lightning-fast reflexes, she booked a presidential suite and handed the room key to the deity of destiny. Xiao Ye was numbly led to the top floor by the deity of destiny and into the presidential suite. The ancestral empress stared at the closed door, her pretty face darkening. HMPH. One day, you will be mine. Inside the presidential suite, Xiao Ye stared dumbfounded as the deity of destiny removed her disguise and pounced on him. "Deity of destiny, won't you reconsider?" "Reconsider my ass. What are you dawdling for? Hurry up." "No. Deity of destiny, what if you regret it?" "I will never regret it. This is a decision I made after a fraction of a second of careful consideration." "Hurry up, are you even a man?" Chapter 613 Gu Qingchang returns. The primordial empress had booked a private room, right next to Xiao Ye and the god of destiny. She lay on the bed, tossing and turning, her brow furrowed, unable to sleep all night. For 500,000 years, she had been the most brilliant and talented god on Blue Star. No other god, male or female, could compare. In the interstellar battlefield, She had been locked in a stalemate with the White Horse demonic path for hundreds of thousands of years, and she was always the most outstanding and top tier. But now, suddenly, a human emperor had emerged, crushing her in every way, accomplishing countless things she had been powerless to change. Annihilating gods, unifying the Blue Star's divine ranks, and annihilating the White Horse star system's demonic path in one fell swoop. Each achievement was more dazzling and radiant than her own. She had quietly fallen for the human emperor. She found it hard to believe that a god could be moved, could fall in love with a human boy. But feelings are uncontrollable. Initially, they made her blush and her heart race, a sweet sensation. However, today she had been a third wheel all day. She obviously likes Ren Huang, but he is having sex with other women in front of her, eating stinky tofu, going shopping, watching movies, and booking hotel rooms. This made her feel sour and astringent, as if she had eaten immature citric acid, extremely sour. The first queen felt so angry that she stood up angrily, stretched her muscles, and snorted coldly. The destiny god is Obsession Gu Qingchen, and she is the wife of the human emperor. How can I feel uncomfortable here? It's been a long time since I beat someone. The Five Elements god is not dead yet, so why not beat him up? I'm not jealous, that's why I'm not angry. It's just that I'm bored because I haven't beaten the Five Elements god for a while, Her spatial perception glanced at the next door. The result made her blush, and she secretly cursed, her anger growing even stronger. She stubbornly retorted, I must be feeling suffocated. I'm going out for some fresh air, and while I'm at it, I'll give the Five Elements god a good beating, HMPH. That guy's divine body is nowhere to be found, so I'll go to the Five Elements rule origin to catch him. The ancestral emperor stormed off. If the Five Elements god knew that he had inexplicably incurred the ancestral empress's wrath, he would definitely turn pale and shout, you're bullying a god. Next door. After 2 hours of fighting, Xiao Ye hadn't fallen behind. Currently, his realm was the second tier of the third stage of the Emperor realm, while the Destiny God was only the first tier of the third stage of the Emperor realm. Xiao Ye won this exhilarating battle. After winning, he pressed his advantage, not giving the Destiny God a chance to escape, eliminating him completely, making the Destiny God beg for mercy repeatedly, and then completely losing its fighting power. The battle ended. Xiao Ye very generously reconciled with his enemy, the Destiny God, and they lived in harmony. The two embraced and slept. Early the next morning, Xiao Ye was awakened by the sound of a breakthrough in his cultivation realm. His realm had reached the peak of the third stage of the Emperor realm. Xiao Ye felt the various primal energies within his body surging and roaring like a vast ocean, his heart pounding like thunder. Suddenly, his enemy, the God of Destiny, launched another attack. Xiao Ye, unwilling to yield, immediately rose up in rebellion, unleashing the terrifying power of the peak of the third stage of the Emperor realm, and slaying the God of Destiny. In this battle, he won completely and spectacularly. Sometime later, warm sunlight streamed through the windows into the living room. In the living room, the two were eating stinky tofu for breakfast. Xiao Ye found the smell unbearable and couldn't bring himself to eat it. Who eats stinky tofu for breakfast? But the God of Destiny ate it with gusto, her mouth glistening with oil, taking bite after bite without stopping, her stunningly beautiful face filled with intoxication and enjoyment. Xiao Ye used his creation-type materialization ability to conjure up some normal breakfast. After eating a few bites, he entered the room and calmly said, Deity of Destiny, wait for me a moment. I have something important to do. The Deity of Destiny's lips curled slightly. She knew what he wanted to do. She silently took out a recording stone, held it to her chest, and stared at it intently, a happy smile unconsciously appearing on her face. Eating stinky tofu, shopping, watching movies, even checking into a hotel, every scene was recorded within it. These were precious memories unique to her and the human emperor, memories she would cherish for a lifetime. Xiao Ye emerged, holding a small box, and asked in surprise, Deity of Destiny, what are you holding? The Deity of Destiny hurriedly put it away, forcing herself to remain calm, and said, nothing, just a stone. Xiao Ye didn't mind, shaking the exquisite little box in her hand. The box was engraved with the words Deity of Destiny, and she said with a smile, Deity of Destiny, I've kept Gu Qingcheng's box. This is for you. This is our precious crystallization. The Deity of Destiny shook her head, pushing the exquisite little box back, her eyes filled with complex emotions, and said, this is for you to keep. I have other memories. Her face suddenly turned heavy, her expression filled with sorrow, and she said in a desolate tone, "Human Emperor, last night, while you were asleep, Gu Qingcheng had already returned. I should leave too. I won't steal Gu Qingcheng's man, you are Gu Qingcheng's husband. I wish you a long and happy life together." The deity of destiny stood up, turned her head, and tears streamed down her fair face. Her graceful body trembled uncontrollably. Her figure gradually faded. Xiao Ye panicked. "Deity of destiny, you are also Gu Qingcheng, the Gu Qingcheng of obsession, and also my wife. Where are you going?" The deity of destiny's figure faded, turning into specks of light and disappearing, her sorrowful and desolate voice echoing in the living room. "To a place without you. I can't be content to be Gu Qingcheng's substitute forever. I am the deity of destiny. I gave myself to you yesterday, leaving behind beautiful memories. That's enough." She left, disappearing without a trace. Xiao Ye's face darkened, and he complained, "Deity of destiny, the deity of reincarnation is about to break through to the star domain realm, able to use the great divine power of reincarnation to restore your memories, yet you leave now? Everyone says you're not a substitute, you are the Gu Qingcheng of obsession, and you and Gu Qingcheng are two separate individuals." Sigh. He slumped onto the sofa, raising his hand to his forehead, utterly helpless. At this moment, a click sounded, and the door to the second bedroom of the presidential suite opened. A stunningly beautiful woman in white robes stepped forward, her gaze fixed intently on Xiao Ye, radiating an aura of dominance. Xiao Ye was startled, looking at her with surprise. "Goddess of destiny, you've returned," he exclaimed. "It's good you're back. I've already told you, you're my wife too, not a substitute for Gu Qingcheng. Don't overthink it. The Gu Qingcheng with the obsession isn't entirely the same as Gu Qingcheng. My feelings for you two aren't entirely the same either." But the beautiful woman in white robes remained unmoved, slowly walking towards him, her eyes filled with memories, staring at him intently for half a minute. Xiao Ye chuckled, "What are you looking at? Didn't you already see me?" The beautiful woman in white robes shook her head, her voice slightly domineering. "No, we haven't seen each other for 5,000 years. I am Gu Qingcheng, the Empress of Hangzhou, Gu Qingcheng." Xiao Ye was shocked. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 614. What happened to Lao Gu? You're Gu Qingcheng, Sister Qingcheng? You've been resurrected? Xiao Ye was overjoyed, his gaze sweeping over Gu Qingcheng's perfect body. Gu Qingcheng's soul had been in a state of collapse and obliteration, her body completely destroyed. Unlike now, she was brimming with life, alive and well. Gu Qingcheng's eyes shone with a domineering light as she said, "Open your hands." Xiao Ye opened his hands in bewilderment. Gu Qingcheng rushed forward, hugging him, her head resting on his shoulder, her voice filled with complex emotions and affection. "Husband, I thought I would never see you again, that I would die completely. It's so good to be alive and see you again." Xiao Ye held her smooth, slender waist and used his divine sense to examine her. He discovered that Gu Qingcheng's soul was perfectly intact, her soul power incredibly strong, and her body still a virgin. The only flaw was that her soul's age had reached 6,500 years. This meant that Gu Qingcheng had spent 5,000 years in the future. More than 3 times longer than the 1,500 years she had lived in this timeline. Gu Qingcheng noticed his subtle movements and said coquettishly, "Husband, I'm completely resurrected. It's the future me who resurrected me. In the future, I didn't mess around with the future you, and I didn't make you wear the cuckold's horns." He'd been cuckolded by himself? Xiao Ye's lips twitched. "I trust you completely and have never worried about that. Your soul and body are perfectly intact, I can tell." "What, you saw the future me in the future?" Gu Qingcheng puffed out her cheeks angrily and cursed, "See my ass. You stinky guy, you've been hiding from me in the future. I wanted to see the future you, but I never had a chance. I just wanted to see how much you'd grown, whether you looked different. But you stinky guy, it seems you're deliberately avoiding me. I've been in the future for 5,000 years and haven't seen the future you even once. The future me even joked that I was afraid the past you would castrate yourself and become a eunuch, so you never intended to see me." Xiao Ye's lips twitched. Gu Qingcheng took out the time travel bead and placed it in his hand. "Husband, there's a letter from your future self inside. I can't open the envelope, Could you open it and take a look? Speechless. I'm not a plague god, yet your future self is afraid to see me. Xiao Ye took a letter from the time travel bead. The envelope was addressed to Xiao Ye, to be opened by Xiao Ye. He tore open the envelope and took out a letter. There was no resistance whatsoever to Xiao Ye of the past. Recruit fewer beast girls and gods, otherwise I can't handle it. Also, I have my Gu Qingcheng, I don't want your Gu Qingcheng. Most importantly, don't castrate yourself, I don't cultivate the evil repelling sword manual. Xiao Ye of the future Gu Qingcheng's beautiful eyes were blank, and she muttered, what did he say? Why can't I see it? In her vision, the letter was blank, like a piece of white paper, without any words on it. Xiao Ye stuffed a letter back into the envelope, tossed it into the time travel bead, and laughed. He said he has his own Gu Qingcheng and doesn't think much of my Gu Qingcheng, so he told me not to castrate myself. Gu Qingcheng retorted irritably, he's giving me face. I don't even think much of him. I want to see him, not to do anything with him. I just want to see what you'll look like in the future. Will you become a greasy old man? Unshaven and overweight? So I can come back and control your diet, etc. I only like the present you. I find the future you disgusting. Xiao Ye looked puzzled. Why do all the beast girls think his future self is disgusting? Ziran did, Yunbing and Yunzai did too, and now Gu Qingcheng did as well. His future self and his present self are both the same person, both Xiao Ye. Shaking his head, he rubbed his palms together and was astonished to discover that Gu Qingcheng's current body was sculpted from some top-tier treasure, exuding an aura of profound mystery. It wasn't the body of a deity, yet it was comparable to one, exquisitely pure and holy. Moreover, Gu Qingcheng's skin had become even smoother and more rosy. What did you see and do during your long stay in the future? Xiao Ye secretly slipped his hand inside the white robe. Gu Qingcheng's pretty face flushed slightly, but she didn't stop him. Recalling the past, a look of shock flashed in her eyes as she slowly recounted, in the future, we will all become the supreme beings of the universe, controlling countless multiverses. We will be worshipped by all races of the universe and serve as the rulers of the multiverses. We will roam the river of time, detached from the origin of the great Dao. I didn't actually live there for long. Most of the time was spent shaping my body and healing my soul. Only a few days were spent in contact with the outside world. She suddenly grabbed Xiao Ye's manhood tightly, gritting her teeth and saying, husband, I've seen all your future beast girls, gods, world spirits, and universe rulers. That's too many. In the future, I'd have to wait in line just to see you. Do you believe I'll crush it right now, so you'll stop collecting gods and such? Xiao Ye glanced at her calmly, his face expressionless, and smiled faintly. If you're willing, then crush it. Gu Qingcheng's eyes met his, their two pairs of dark eyes staring intently at each other. Gu Qingcheng was the first to give in, letting go and saying dejectedly, forget it, I can't bear to. If you become a eunuch, what will happen to my happiness? By the way, where's old Gu? Where did she go? Xiao Ye's smile froze. She hasn't regained her memories yet. She's not called old Gu now, she's called the goddess of destiny. Gu Qingcheng was stunned. When I came back last night, I saw you two sleeping together. Old Gu hasn't regained her memories yet. Tisk tisk, husband, your charm is truly great, making old Gu fall in love with you all over again. A flash of white light appeared, and a golden portal materialized beside them. Cheng Bingxi, Nanguang Xiao, Liu Yan, Mu Qingsu, Qinzitter, Huangfu Xiangling, and Jiang Zunun emerged from the time-space hall. Their appearance on Blue Star caused Blue Star and the Milky Way galaxy to tremble several times. 6 had reached the 3rd stage of the Emperor realm. Jiang Zunun had even broken through to the early stage of the Star Domain realm. Their bodies became translucent, their primordial power flowing, and their gazes seemed to pierce through everything. Xiao Ye and Gu Qingcheng were stunned. Gu Qingcheng's cultivation level was still at the peak of the Saint realm. But when she saw these stunningly beautiful women exuding charm, her heart and body trembled uncontrollably. Cheng Bingxi and the other women concealed their auras, their beautiful eyes brightening, and they quickly surrounded them. Jiang Zunyu threw herself at Gu Qingcheng, overjoyed, Mistress. You've finally been resurrected. That's wonderful. Gu Qingcheng smiled faintly. I repaired my soul and body in the future and witnessed its scenery. On the contrary, you all quite shocked me. The aura of time on your bodies is so strong, as if we haven't seen each other for tens of thousands of years. Cheng Bingxi gave Xiao Ye a resentful look and complained, "We've been cultivating in the time-space hall for nearly 30,000 years, and this guy hasn't even come to visit us." The mature and fruitful Nangguang Xiao grumbled, "That big bad guy Xiao Ye, all he knows is enjoying the feedback from his cultivation. He doesn't cultivate with us. Luckily, when we cultivate, our minds are focused and our hearts are clear. We don't think about anything else, otherwise we'd be bored to death." Chapter 615 Old Gu in Mengguan Base City. Seeing these beast girls, Xiao Ye's worries eased somewhat. Gu Qingchang's gaze fell on Mu Qingsu, her brows furrowing. In the future, Mu Qingsu would be quite different from her current self. The current Mu Qingsu hadn't yet grown up and hadn't become the top being who controlled the river of time in the multiverse. Cheng Bingxi, Nangguang Xiao, Liu Yan, Mu Qingsu, Qinzier, Huangfu Xiangling, and Zhang Zunyu sat on the sofa, chatting casually and eating the breakfast on the table without any hesitation. Seeing that there wasn't enough breakfast, Xiao Ye used his creation-type materialization talent skill to materialize a table full of breakfast items: soup dumplings, steamed buns, soy milk, fried dough sticks, milk tea, coffee, cola, apples, bananas, pears, durian, and more. The creation-type attribute came from Ziran and was very practical. They happily finished their breakfast. All the beast girls expressed their desire to go home. Xiao Ye readily agreed and decided to go together, saying, "Blue Star has become Blue Star's high-level combat power, all at the peak of the third stage of the Emperor Realm. They'll be able to break through to the Star Domain Realm soon, right?" Cheng Bingxi shook her head. Breaking through to the Star Domain Realm takes about 10 times longer than breaking through to the Emperor Realm. It's not that easy. From the peak of the third stage of the Emperor Realm to breaking through to the Star Domain Realm, it takes at least 30,000 years. Mythical level, advancing one stage from the Supreme Realm takes 1 year, advancing one stage from the Saint Realm takes 6 years, the first stage of the Emperor Realm, the surface level, takes 30 years per stage, the second stage takes 300 years per stage, the third stage takes 3,000 years per stage. The Star Domain Realm is divided into 10 stages, and each breakthrough takes 30,000 years. Mu Qingsu nodded, "I'm only 1 or 2 years away from breaking through to the Star Domain Realm. But I feel that continuous cultivation isn't enough. I need to use combat to stabilize my realm, so I'm not in a hurry to break through." If she had used time acceleration to cultivate recklessly, her realm might have reached the 6th stage of the Star Domain Realm by now. However, cultivation requires a balance of work and rest. One must be familiar with one's own supernatural powers and stabilize one's realm before making steady, solid advancements. Otherwise, a weak foundation will be insufficient to support further advancements. Like a tall building, it needs a solid foundation to withstand wind, rain, and the erosion of time, remaining standing forever. Xiao Ye nodded, indicating understanding, and smiled. "Completing the third stage of the Emperor Realm is enough for your current stage. Once you feel ready, you can continue cultivating. In the meantime, I'll accompany you to your respective homes to upgrade your parents' talents to the mythical level." Mythical level? All the beast girls were overjoyed, exclaiming in surprise, "Xiao Ye, are you serious?" Xiao Ye nodded, "More real than real gold. You've all become emperors, your families can't fall behind." Gu Qingchang suddenly interjected, "Xiao Ye, actually, you don't need to improve them. After becoming emperors, our bloodlines were refined. If I'm not mistaken, the bloodlines of Bingxi, Xiao, Qingsu, Zir, Xiangling, and Liu Ya's families were all condensed and sublimated when they became emperors. The bloodlines of our closest relatives have at least sublimated to the quasi-mythical level. The bloodlines of our collateral relatives have probably all become top-tier SSS-level bloodline templates. For Blue Star, the quasi-mythical level is enough for the bloodline templates of our closest relatives. There's no need to upgrade them to the mythical level. When Bingxi and the others further improve their realm and their bloodlines sublimate, their relatives' bloodlines will also sublimate." Xiao Ye suddenly understood. He immediately replied, "Who among you wants to raise their family members' talent to the mythical level first? If you're willing, I can raise their talent a bit first." But the beast girls remained silent for a while, then all shook their heads. A bloodline template of their closest relatives reaching the quasi-mythical level was enough. Everyone ate and drank their fill. Xiao Ye escorted Mu Qingsu back to the city lord's mansion in the demon capital, exchanged pleasantries for half an hour, and then left. Next, He escorted Qin Zhe back to the city lord's mansion in Hangzhou and chatted with Qin Tai for a while. Huangfu Xiangling was escorted to the Xie family imperial clan. Next to Xie ran. Liu was taken to the Kunpeng Academy in the demon capital to chat with her disciples and students. An hour later, Xiao Ye returned to the presidential suite. Only Gu Qingcheng, Cheng Bingxi, and Nangong Xie remained. Cheng Bingxi asked, Xiao Ye, are you going back to Mangdong Base City? Mangdong Base City was upgraded a few months ago, reaching the standard of a high-level base city. My parents became the deputy city lords of Mangdong Base City. Xiao's parents are still city lords. Nangong Xiao's eyes shone with anticipation, hoping to return to Mangdong Base City with Xiao Ye. Gu Qingcheng spoke up, Xiao Ye, can you find out where old Gu is? I want to see her. I saw you two were inseparable last night, so I didn't disturb you. She left as soon as I woke up this morning, without saying a word to me. Xiao Ye frowned and took out the treasure-seeking pointer. He issued a command to search for the Destiny God. A few seconds later, the treasure-seeking pointer returned, indicating that the Destiny God was in Mangdong Base City. His brows relaxed, and he smiled. Then let's go back to Mangdong Base City together. The Goddess of Destiny is also in Mangdong Base City. Sister Qingcheng, what about you? Do you want to go back to Hangzhou? Gu Qingcheng shook her head. I'm going to see old Gu. Besides, I haven't seen you in so long. I want to stay by your side. Xiao Ye immediately agreed. Then let's go to Mangdong Base City together and see how much it has changed. I've lived in Mangdong Base City for 18 years, and I have many memories. The goddess of reincarnation is currently estimated to be at the peak of the third stage of the Emperor realm. Breaking through to the Star Domain realm will take about 30,000 years, or 1 day in Blue Star time. It's 1 day longer than expected. But it doesn't matter, 1 day in Blue Star time will pass quickly. Once the goddess of reincarnation breaks through to the Star Domain realm, she can use the Star Domain realm's great divine power to restore the goddess of destiny's memories. The goddess of destiny will then understand that she is not a substitute for Gu Qingcheng, nor a substitute for anyone. With a wave of his hand, Xiao Ye opened a special rift, taking the three women inside. In milliseconds, they arrived in Mangdong Base City. At this moment, the goddess of destiny stood outside the Sunshine Welfare Home, gazing at the place where Xiao Ye had grown up. She held a memory stone in her hand, standing on the bustling street, her aura serene and pure. A shifty-looking boy approached the welfare home entrance, his eyes lighting up upon seeing the goddess of destiny. Big sister, are you here to see my brother, Xiao Ye? He's not at the welfare home, he went to Shanghai. The boy's eyes widened at the stunning beauty, his gaze fixed on the goddess of destiny, a greedy glint in his eyes. The goddess of destiny frowned slightly. You're Xiao Ye's brother? The boy nodded happily. Yes, my name is Tang Sen, I'm Xiao Ye's brother. Would you like to know more about my brother? How about we go have a meal over there? The goddess of destiny replied coldly, sure. The man's gaze made her uncomfortable, but he was the human emperor's brother. She respected the human emperor and didn't investigate Tang San's fate. Besides, this man was related to the human emperor. Even if she investigated, she would only see a veil of mystery. But when the shop owners around him saw him arrive, their faces all turned gloomy. 2 or 3 shop owners immediately closed their shops and put up signs saying they were closed for the day. Chapter 616 The Deity of Fate meets Gu Qingcheng. Not far away, people on the roadside were pointing and whispering, their faces full of disdain. Tang Sen, relying on being the young city lord's brother, never pays for his meals, always eating and dashing. He never pays for clothes either. Once, he took over 100 sets of new clothes from a luxury store, causing the owner to go bankrupt and sell himself into a brothel. Rumor has it that he often steals the underwear of pretty girls at number 3 middle school. I wonder what he does with it. He even plucked the principal's beard, right in front of the whole school. Sigh, keep your voice down, don't let anyone hear. Last time, someone got their leg broken, their testicles popped out, note, their third leg, losing the ability to carry on the family line. Sigh, what can you do when you have such a good older brother? When one person achieves success, even their chickens and dogs benefit. The children in the orphanage are protected by the city lord and deputy city lord. As long as they don't kill anyone, they can get away with any crime. But the other children in the orphanage aren't treated like that. Only he is so arrogant, rampant, and lawless. Tang San cast a gloomy glance, and the group scattered in panic, hastily leaving, afraid of being targeted. He smiled nonchalantly and said, "Sister, there's a restaurant over there, the food's pretty good." The goddess of destiny frowned, following him into the restaurant. She could tell from Tang San's darkened forehead that he was about to face a bloody calamity. After all, he was the human emperor's brother. She was biased towards family, so she wanted to avert this misfortune for Tang San. Although Tang San's personality was somewhat unpleasant, she believed that with a human emperor's discipline and guidance, he could be changed and brought back to the right path. "Boss, 3 servings of braised pork trotters rice, no cilantro, no beef, and extra chili in 2 of them." Tang San waved his hand casually. The restaurant owner nodded with a dark face and went to prepare the pork trotters rice. The goddess of destiny, dressed in a white, form-fitting robe, accentuated her graceful figure to the fullest. Her pure and ethereal aura gave her the air of a celestial being, untouched by worldly concerns, as if she shouldn't exist in this mortal realm. Tang San, his eyes darting around, stared at the goddess of destiny's stunningly beautiful face, completely mesmerized. She was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen in his life, possessing the best figure and the most refined, a combination of temperament, bearing, and inner qualities. If he could marry such a woman, he would gladly shorten his lifespan by 100 years, even breaking his ribs to make soup. The goddess of destiny, feeling uncomfortable under his blatant gaze, spoke in a cold voice, "Little brat, tell me about Xiao Ye's childhood." But Tang San was still lost in thought. She repeated her words before he finally snapped out of his gaze. "Huh? My brother's childhood experiences?" A look of confusion flashed in his eyes as he rambled on. My brother was very good to us. He gave us all the food and drink, and told us to study hard." The goddess of destiny listened, a smile appearing on her lips. The human emperor, was he always this kind of person from childhood? But Tang San's next words made her frown. "My brother was very devoted and helpful. At school, he was only nice to sister-in-law Bixi, and didn't associate with any other women. He also studied and cultivated very hard, wishing he could spend every minute and second on cultivation and study. My brother never wasted food." Tang San rambled on and on, only praising Xiao Ye. He didn't know Xiao Ye at all, and had never even met him. Because he wasn't a child raised in an orphanage at all, he was an orphan from outside the base city. It was only this year, at the age of 17, that he saw the orphanage being transformed by the base city with a large amount of money and resources. He sneaked into the orphanage, punched and kicked the children until they recognized him as their leader, and that's how he got the identity of an orphanage child. The more the goddess of destiny listened, the more uneasy she felt. The human emperor's character was indeed excellent. But the human emperor's devotion? Forget it. How many beast girls did the human emperor have? More than 10. Seeing Tang San still rambling on and on, spitting saliva onto the table, the goddess of destiny said coldly, "Enough. Don't praise Xiao Ye if you don't understand him. This is a Saint Realm Perfection Crystal Core, consider it my greeting gift to you, goodbye." She stood up, intending to leave. Tang San panicked and rushed over, grabbing the goddess of destiny's clothes. "Fairy sister, don't go," he cried. "Whatever you want to know about my brother, I can tell you," the goddess of destiny said expressionlessly. "Do you know what my relationship with your brother is? What if I were your brother's enemy? What if I had a grudge against him? You haven't even clarified my relationship with your brother before spouting nonsense." With a wave of her hand, she vanished. Tang San's face darkened. "You bitch." He glanced at the Saint Realm Perfection Crystal Core on the table, his face instantly lighting up with joy. A Saint Realm Perfection Crystal Core. It's actually a Saint Realm Crystal Core. My cheap master, whom I obtained through deception, is only at the Supreme Realm. The goddess of destiny stared at Tang San expressionlessly. This brother of the human emperor was of such poor character, incomparable to the human emperor himself. The human emperor was loyal and righteous, respectful of his teachers, but this brother was greedy and lustful, utterly lacking in respect. Suddenly, the goddess of destiny's expression changed. She sensed the aura of the human emperor, as well as the auras of 2 other beings at the peak of the 3rd stage of the emperor realm. And the aura of Gu Qingcheng, whom she had encountered last night. Gu Qingcheng really did look exactly like her. Did the human emperor just use her as a substitute? Did the human emperor love her very much? At the drastically changed entrance of the orphanage, Xiao Ye, Gu Qingcheng, Cheng Bingxi, and Nangong Xiao appeared. Out of the corner of his eye, Xiao Ye caught a glimpse of the ethereal deity of destiny, knowing she was standing not far away watching him. With his current cultivation level, and at such close range, even the deity of destiny's ethereal form couldn't conceal her presence. Sigh, if the deity of destiny doesn't want to see me, then so be it. When the reincarnation goddess breaks through to the star domain realm tomorrow, she can regain her memories. Having just taken the deity of destiny's virginity last night, he already considered her his wife and was determined to help her regain her memories. Cheng Bingxi and Nangong Xiao sent messages to their parents, telling them about their return with Xiao Ye and sending their locations. Xiao Ye observed the destiny spirit intently, looking at the drastically changed orphanage with a somewhat emotional expression. Back then, the orphanage was old and dilapidated. I never imagined it would be so magnificent now. This street, which used to be deserted and empty, is now bustling with people, a lively street in the Mengxuan-based city, comparable to the former city center. Let's go in and take a look. This is my first time back. He casually conjured some nutritional supplements and carried them inside. Cheng Bingxi, Nangguang Xiao, and Gu Qingcheng followed closely behind. A little porcelain doll-like girl with big, bright eyes rushed up from behind and hugged Xiao Ye's leg, babbling, "Brother Xiao Ye, your brother Xiao Ye. Little Yeezy wouldn't mistake you, you are brother Xiao Ye." Xiao Ye patted her head, squatted down, and smiled, "Little Yeezy, long time no see." Little Yeezy was overjoyed and muttered, "Brother Xiao Ye hasn't come back to see us for a year, he's so mean. A bad older brother came to our orphanage this year, he beats us all the time. He even claims to be your brother. Look, my bottom is still swollen, he beat me again yesterday." Chapter 617 The Imposter Brother. Xiao Ye looked at her suspiciously and said with a faint smile, "Little Yeezy, you're trying to play a trick on me again. This time, your brother won't fall for it." The porcelain doll-like little Yeezy panicked and said in a childish voice, "Brother, I'm not playing a trick on you. I'll take off my pants and show you, they're all swollen." She was about to pull down her skirt when Xiao Ye stopped her in time and gave Nangguang Xiao a look. Nangguang Xiao understood, placed her hand on little Yeezy's hand, and used her divine sense to examine it. When she saw the shocking swelling on little Yeezy's bottom, her face darkened, and she said coldly, "Little Yeezy was indeed beaten, and badly. It's swollen, and there are black marks. It's probably because the swelling from the last time she was beaten hasn't healed yet, and that person beat little Yeezy again." Xiao Ye's expression changed. Little Yeezy was only 6 years old, just old enough to start preschool. Even he couldn't bear to hide her, and now she had actually been beaten. Little Yeezy pouted, bursting into tears, and cried, "Brother, I told you I wasn't lying, but you still didn't believe me. That bad guy was so mean. He not only hit me, but he also beat up the other kids at the orphanage." Xiao Ye asked gently, "Was that a new kid at the orphanage? Where's Grandpa Director? Doesn't he care about these things?" He extended his divine sense, but couldn't see the hunched-over, white-haired Grandpa Director at all. There was no trace of him. Little Yeezy sobbed, wiping her reddened eyes, and said sadly, "Grandpa Director left after brother went to Shanghai. It's been almost a year, and he hasn't come back. Grandpa doesn't want us anymore. That bad brother said Grandpa Director went to get married and will have his own children, and he doesn't want us wild children anymore." Xiao Ye frowned. His divine sense, at the peak of the third stage of the Emperor Realm, expanded out, instantly covering the entire blue star. The mortal realm, the realm of rules, the endless void. Nothing. There was no sign or aura of Grandpa Director. His divine sense expanded its range, encompassing Earth, the solar system, and the Milky Way. He searched every planet and every small galaxy until he reached the edge of the Milky Way. He was disappointed. He couldn't find the Dean. Was the Dean dead? Xiao Ye then used his reincarnation divine power to search for the Dean's reincarnation. He discovered that the Dean hadn't entered the Earth's reincarnation. He took out the treasure-seeking pointer and entered the Dean's aura, appearance, and name, but the result was no record. Xiao Ye's expression turned grim. There were 3 possibilities. First, the Dean's soul had perished and he hadn't entered reincarnation. Second, the Dean had been abducted by a powerful cosmic race, his aura concealed, making him undetectable by the treasure-seeking pointer. Third, the Dean was a powerful cosmic being in disguise, possessing a very high level of cultivation. He couldn't accept the first 2 possibilities, except for the third. He had been raised by the dean since childhood. The dean was his second parent, acting as both father and mother. Cheng Bingxi spoke up, "Little Yuzi, what does your wicked brother look like? We'll teach him a lesson." Little Yuzi pondered, a look of fear appearing in her big eyes. She gestured in the air with her little hands and muttered, "That wicked brother has very narrow and long eyes. He looks sinister. Quite scary. He's a bit shorter than brother Xiao Ye, about half a head shorter. Brothers and sisters, listen to me, he's so wicked. He says he's brother Xiao Ye's younger brother, that he receives a lot of attention from important people, he often eats out and buys clothes without paying, and he even harasses respectable women. He even bragged to us that he plucked all of the principal's beard in front of the whole school." Gu Qingcheng asked in surprise, "There's a boy in that restaurant across from the orphanage who fits that description. The wicked brother little Yuzi is talking about, could it be him?" The porcelain doll like little Yuzi exclaimed excitedly, "It must be him, he often dines and dashes across from our house." Xiao Ye, holding Xiao Yuzi's hand, led Cheng Bingxi, Nanguang Xiao, and Gu Qingcheng out of the orphanage and into the restaurant across the street. The restaurant owner was different from last year and didn't recognize Xiao Ye. His eyes widened in surprise. Cheng Bingxi, Nanguang Xiao, and Gu Qingcheng were three stunningly beautiful women, far superior to ordinary women. Today, so many exceptionally beautiful women were dining at his restaurant. One had just left. Xiao Ye walked straight to Tang San, who was happily eating, and pointed at him, saying, "Xiao Yuzi, is this the person?" Xiao Yuzi, her face filled with fear, shrank behind Xiao Ye, only her head peeking out, and mumbled, "Yes, this is the person." Cheng Bingxi, Nanguang Xiao, and Gu Qingcheng's expressions changed as they looked at Tang San, their gazes turning cold. At the peak of the Emperor realm, emotions could influence the entire world. The temperature in Mengxuan city plummeted. Despite the blinding sunlight, snowflakes began to fall on the streets, covering them in ice. Tang San's bowl of braised pork trotters and rice had frozen solid. Staring blankly at the bowl, he was almost questioning his existence. Turning to Xiao Ye, he frowned and snapped, "Who the hell are you? Did I bother you while I was eating? You'd better pay me 10 bowls of pork trotters and rice, or I'll have my brother Xiao Ye beat you up." Facing Xiao Ye, who seemed to possess considerable power, Tang San showed no fear. He was favored by the city lord and deputy city lord, and had even been accepted as a personal disciple by the supreme realm city lord of a high-level base city. Of course, all of this was obtained by deceiving people with the false identity of being Xiao Ye's brother. Xiao Ye, Cheng Bingxi, Nanguang Xiao, and Gu Qingcheng were stunned. "You want your brother Xiao Ye to beat us up? Do you think Xiao Ye would actually do that?" Xiao Ye scoffed, "You're pretty arrogant, aren't you? Is your brother that awesome?" "Xiao Ye? Who's that?" Tang San paused for a moment, then clutched his stomach and laughed heartily. "You don't even know my brother Xiao Ye? What a bumpkin. My brother is the son-in-law of the city lord and deputy city lord of Mengxuan Base City. He's also a student at the Magic City Academy. The dean of the Magic City Academy, Kunpeng Supreme, personally came to admit him." The handsome man's lips twitched, and the expressions on the faces of the three stunning beauties beside him were equally fascinating. Tang San pointed at Gu Qingcheng and suddenly smiled, "Beautiful sister, weren't you just asking about my brother? I'll continue telling you. Boss, 3 more servings of braised pork trotters." Gu Qingcheng's eyes were playful. "Really? I was just here? Old Gu must have been here." Little Yuzi shouted angrily, "Sister, don't pay him any attention. This guy is awful, greedy and lecherous. Just beat him up. Spank his bottom until it's swollen, like he beat me yesterday, HMPH. Tang San's face instantly turned ugly. He had just turned 18 and wouldn't awaken his Beast Tamer talent until the second half of the year. He had no combat power yet. Ding dong, Tang San received a text message, his expression overjoyed, and he laughed loudly. "The city lord and deputy city lord will be at the orphanage soon. You dare beat me up?" Chapter 618 Tang San goes to prison. Xiao Ye slowly stepped forward, stomping on Xiao Yuzi's broken legs and rubbing them hard. He chuckled, "The orphanage doesn't have a child like you. You're almost an adult, the orphanage still won't take you. Xiao Ye certainly doesn't have a fake brother like you. You used your identity as Xiao Ye's brother to swindle and cheat people, gain benefits, and bully the younger brothers and sisters in the orphanage. I'll break your legs as punishment. You'll be disabled for the rest of your life." Xiao Ye waved his hand, picked up Xiao Yuzi, and led Cheng Bingxi, Nanguang Xiao, and Gu Qingcheng out of the restaurant. Those broken legs were beyond repair. No one in the world could heal them unless they found a powerful expert at the Star Domain realm. Tang San's face was vicious, and he roared ferociously, "None of you will escape. The City Lord and Deputy City Lord will be here soon. My master will be here soon too. Boy, I'll kill you." Xiao Ye and the others didn't care, but Xiao Ye shrank back, his eyes filled with fear. Just then, two extended Rolls Royces pulled up in front of the restaurant. Two burly couples, dressed in luxurious attire, stepped out of the cars and happened to meet Xiao Ye and his group as they emerged from the restaurant. They were Cheng Bingxi's parents, the Vice City Lord Cheng Qi and his wife, and Nanguang Xiao's parents, the City Lord Nanguang Qitao and his wife. Their eyes lit up, and they laughed heartily. "Son-in-law, you've finally come back. It's been a long time, you've matured quite a bit." Xiao Ye greeted them one by one, smiling faintly. "Father-in-law, mother-in-law, father-in-law, mother-in-law. I was too busy lately and couldn't find the time. Now that I have some free time, I immediately came home to visit." Cheng Bingxi and Nanguang Xiao stood on either side of Xiao Ye, smiling broadly. At this moment, gasps of shock echoed through the restaurant. "Holy crap, this kid is actually Xiao Ye. My fake brother whom I've never met? Ouch, this is it, we're doomed. Isn't Xiao Ye in university? Mangyinbei City is so far from Shanghai, shouldn't he be gone for 4 years? Why is he suddenly back?" Tang San became anxious, his face changing drastically. Remembering how he had boasted about how awesome Xiao Ye was, his cheeks burned. Not only that, his impersonation of Xiao Ye's brother was about to be exposed. He had never even met Xiao Ye before. Cheng Qi and Nanguang Qitao were surprised. The sounds from the restaurant sounded familiar to them. Looking inside, their faces darkened. They hurriedly went to Tang San, helped him up from the ground, and suppressed their anger, saying, "Tang San, who beat you up like this? In Mangyinbei City, someone actually dared to touch you." Xiao Ye and his group also entered, their eyes filled with mockery. Tang San glanced fearfully at Xiao Ye, stammering, No one hit me, I fell down myself." "Yes, you fell down." Cheng Qi and Nanguang Qitao examined him and angrily said, "Nonsense. Your leg is shattered, how could you fall like this? Tang San, tell us, who beat you up like this? We'll stand up for you." Tang San's face turned red. But he couldn't bring himself to say anything. Xiao Ye calmly said, "I did it." Cheng Qi and Nanguang Qitao were dumbfounded, exclaiming in disbelief, "Son-in-law, you did it? That can't be right, isn't Tang San your brother?" Xiao Ye shook his head, denying it. "I've never had a brother like that, and I've never seen him. This person is an imposter. He's impersonating my brother to gain your favor, running rampant and arrogantly in Mangyinbei City. I'm just giving him a little punishment." Tang San sensed something was wrong and hurriedly said, Brother Xiao, I'm also a child from the orphanage, what else could I be but your brother?" Seeing someone backing him up, Xiao Ye bravely jumped out, hands on his hips, and said, "You bad guy, you're lying. You're not a child from the orphanage at all. You're way past the age limit for the orphanage to accept orphans. You beat us up and threatened us, that's why we said you were a child from the orphanage." Cheng Qi and Nanguang Qitao's expressions changed, becoming grim and uncertain. Looking at Tang San, their eyes flashed with murderous intent. The aura of a superior emanated from him. "You've stolen women's underwear, dined and dashed, and taken advantage of luxury stores for free, over 100 things, crimes enough to land you in jail for 20 years. We turned a blind eye and treated you well because you're our son-in-law's brother. But you deceived us, you were an imposter. That's an even greater crime. HMPH, you'll spend the rest of your life in prison. Being deceived is unbearable for anyone, especially for a newly promoted city lord and deputy city lord of a high-level base city." Tang San's face turned deathly pale as he wailed, "No, uncle and aunt. I promise I won't make those mistakes again. Please don't put me in jail. Forgive me one last time, the very last time." Cheng Qi and Nanguang Qitao both snorted coldly. "It's too late now, why bother? Son-in-law, do you have any suggestions?" Xiao Ye said calmly, "You handled it very well, let's do it this way." The two fathers-in-law nodded, took out their communicators, and issued orders to the order team to send someone to arrest him. The order team arrived quickly, carrying Tang San like a chick, and walked out. At this moment, a powerful aura descended. It was the aura of a supreme realm expert. Cheng Kik and Nangguang Kitao's expressions changed, and they said in solemn voices, "It's Tang San's master, a supreme realm expert." The burly man used his pressure to restrain the order team, frowning as he asked, "Captain, what wrong has Tang San done that you want to arrest him?" The order team captain listed all the mistakes Tang San had made, a total of 134. Tang San was incorrigible, repeating the same mistakes time and time again. The burly man's face darkened, and he cursed, "Tang San, I taught you a lesson last time, and you promised to change. Is this your attitude?" Nangguang Kitao stepped forward, smiling calmly, "Brother Yang, this man is impersonating my son-in-law Xiao Ye's younger brother." Xiao Ye nodded. The burly man's face darkened even more, and he roared, "From now on, you, Tang San, are no longer my disciple, Yang Hao's disciple. Captain, you may dispose of this as you see fit." Gu Qingchang suddenly received a telepathic message. Her expression brightened. It was old Gu calling her. Chapter 619 God of Destiny, I'm not a substitute after all. She was asked to meet him at the milk tea shop. Gu Qingchang smiled, her heart filled with joy. Old Gu had been her wingman, her strategist, a mentor and friend. Although it had only been a month, Old Gu had left an indelible impression on her. "Old Gu needs to see me. Please make yourselves at home," she said, heading towards the milk tea shop next door. By the window, she saw someone who looked exactly like her. A stunningly beautiful face, an exquisitely graceful figure, and an otherworldly, holy aura. They possessed it all. Getting closer, Gu Qingchang carefully examined the destiny goddess, excitedly exclaiming, "Tisk tisk, so alike, so incredibly alike. They're practically identical. Old Gu, it's been so long, I've missed you terribly." If others hadn't seen both of them at the same time, they would definitely mistake them for the same person. The destiny goddess carefully placed a memory stone she held close to her body, looking at Gu Qingchang with a complex expression, her heart filled with sorrow. In the emperor's heart, I, the goddess of destiny, am her substitute? Indeed, she is perfect, whether in figure, appearance, or personality, just like me, utterly perfect. Gu Qingchang raised an eyebrow. "Old Gu, why aren't you saying anything? Why are you staring at me like that? Look in the mirror, and you'll see me. There's no need to admire someone's beauty face to face." The goddess of destiny shook her head. She wasn't particularly concerned with appearance. Appearance reflects the heart, and this physical form was shaped by her inner self. Her rosy lips parted slightly, and a clear, melodious voice rang out, "Gu Qingchang, do you love the emperor?" In the future, Gu Qingchang would learn that Xiao Ye held the title of emperor, and that the emperor Old Gu referred to was Xiao Ye. Gu Qingchang replied matter-of-factly, "Love, of course I love. But you love him more than I do. When we died together, you sacrificed yourself, using your great power to save him." The goddess of fate was suspicious. "I love the human emperor more than you?" She had originally intended to instruct Gu Qingchang to treat the human emperor well, to love him, and to take care of him. But Gu Qingchang actually said that she, the goddess of fate, loved the human emperor more. Gu Qingchang nodded, agreeing wholeheartedly, "That's right, I am Gu Qingchang, and you are Gu Qingchang, but our experiences are completely different. Our feelings for Xiao Ye are also somewhat different, not exactly the same. Old Gu, I know you haven't regained your memories, but you still fell in love with Xiao Ye." A hint of joy appeared in the goddess of fate's heart. "Our experiences are different? Why?" Different experiences meant that she and Gu Qingchang were not entirely the same. She could not be a substitute for Gu Qingchang, she was also a unique existence. Gu Qingchang recounted her experiences in detail, recounting the story of the obsessive Gu Qingchang. As the deity listened, crystal tears unknowingly streamed from her beautiful eyes, sliding down her cheeks and landing on her white robes. The obsessive Gu Qingchang had such a tragic past. Hearing this, the deity felt a deep sense of loneliness and indignation for her. Gu Qingchang concluded, the obsessive Gu Qingchang, also known as Old Gu, traveled back from the future to alter the past on a small scale for her own happiness. "So, you're still alive, that's good." The deity wept silently, her face streaked with tears. Then suddenly stood up, her voice resolute, "Gu Qingchang, I want to regain my memories. The obsessive Gu Qingchang shouldn't disappear. Since I am her, I will make amends for her regrets." She understood. She and Gu Qingchang were not entirely the same person. The emperor's feelings for her and for Gu Qingcheng were not entirely the same, there were differences. The human emperor was right, she was not a substitute for Gu Qingcheng, nor could she replace Gu Qingcheng. Gu Qingcheng smiled happily. You will regain your memories, old Gu, let's go find Xiao Ye together. The deity nodded heavily. Thus, two identical people, not twin sisters, yet more alike than twins, walked hand in hand towards the outside. Meanwhile, inside the orphanage, Cheng Qi and his wife, Nanguang Kitao, were introducing the renovated orphanage. Xiao Ye listened, secretly astonished. The annual investment in the orphanage was as high as hundreds of millions of blue star coins. The renovation of just one toilet alone cost tens of millions. Now, the orphanage had everything imaginable: a game room, entertainment venues, a gym, a football field, a basketball court, a preschool, a library, a resident doctor, and so on. Although it was called an orphanage, the living conditions were comparable to those of nobles. It was a pity that the old director was nowhere to be found. Was he still well? If he had seen the improved state of the orphanage, he would surely have been very gratified and happy. A group of children gathered around, hugging Xiao Ye's legs and calling him brother, brother, repeatedly. Little Ye was squeezed out, pouting and looking sullen. Xiao Ye checked little Ye's information template, SSS Top Tier White Tiger template, unawakened, no physical defects, no template defects. He was somewhat surprised. Little Ye actually possessed an SSS-level top-tier divine beast, the White Tiger template. Such a high-level template was rare even in a small orphanage. He checked the templates of the other children again. He was disappointed, most were A-level or B-level, not even a single S-level. Cheng Qi, the former head of the third grade and now the deputy city lord of Mangyeong Base City, smiled and said, "Son-in-law, do you see any shortcomings? Brother Nangong and I will improve them." Xiao Ye said, "It's already very good, no need to improve it further. The rules of the orphanage must be well established. We can't let people like Tang San sneak in again. The preschool teachers must also be selected with good qualities, and we must pay close attention to the children's physical and mental health. Many children here have been beaten by Tang San, and as a result, they are afraid of him and dare not speak out. This kind of thing must be prevented in the future." Nanguang Kitao nodded. "We will follow up and improve these shortcomings. We will pay close attention to this in the future." Afterwards, Cheng Qi and Nanguang Kitao invited Xiao Ye to their home for dinner and a chat. Xiao Ye agreed. Little Ye also came along, holding the hand of the plump young woman with twin ponytails, Nanguang Xiao. "Little Ye, what are your life ideals?" The porcelain doll like Little Ye frankly said, "I want to grow up quickly, awaken the beast girl template, cultivate to become strong, and become brother Xiao Ye's wife." Nanguang Xiao and Cheng Bingxi were stunned. The two girls shook their heads, finding it amusing. Children speak without thinking, daring to say anything. They simply took Xiao Ye's boasting. Afterwards, Xiao Ye, Cheng Bingxi, Nanguang Xiao, and Xiao Ye went to Nanguang Kitao's house for dinner, where the Cheng Qi couple were also present. After the meal, Xiao Ye's aura suddenly surged. He broke through from the third stage of the Emperor realm to the Star Domain realm. The Star Domain realm is a realm above the Emperor realm, where the origin within the body becomes more solid and profound. Countless mysterious cosmic runes of the reincarnation origin flowed within his body. This meant that the reincarnation god had also broken through to the Star Domain realm. Chapter 620 The deity of fate regains his memories. Having broken through to the Star Domain realm, his divine sense expanded. Half of the Beast Consortium Star Domain, to which the Milky Way belongs, appeared in his mind. Within the Beast Consortium Star Domain, there are thousands of star systems similar to the Milky Way. Among them, the largest and most central transcendent star system in the Beast Consortium is the Xie Ye star system. Within the Xie Ye star system, he sensed several powerful auras of the Star Domain realm. He withdrew his divine sense. He saw that in the White Horse star system, the peerless primordial empress was relentlessly beating the five elements gods, venting her anger on them, and the five elements gods were utterly powerless to retaliate. The ancestral queen suddenly startled, her bright eyes gazing at the starry sky, her face grave. "Who?" Xiao Ye called out. "It's me, Xiao Ye. Your Majesty, did you sleep well last night? You've actually come to the White Horse star system to play today." The ancestral queen was shocked. "Human Emperor? It's you. You've broken through to the Star Domain realm?" There's no mistake, this powerful divine sense must be above the Emperor realm. Xiao Ye hummed in agreement and withdrew his divine sense. A hint of disappointment flashed in his eyes. He still hadn't found the dean. He asked, "Little Yuzi, what did the old director say to you after I left?" Little Yuzi, her mouth full of food, was stuffing herself with pig's trotters and mumbled, "Grandpa said he was going out to play, chat with friends, and would come back to the orphanage to see us soon." Xiao Ye frowned. Did Grandpa say where he was going? Little Yuzi recalled, "No, but he also said that the saplings he planted before were growing up, and he was going to pull them up and plant them at the entrance of the orphanage so we could have some shade." Xiao Ye sighed, guessing that the old director was probably in grave danger. At this moment, he received a message from the reincarnation god within the Hall of Time and Space. "Human Emperor, little reincarnation has broken through to the star domain realm. After I spend 1,000 years stabilizing my realm and familiarizing myself with the great divine power of reincarnation, I will come out to restore the memories of the Destiny God. Is the Destiny God beside you?" Xiao Ye's expression brightened. With a reincarnation god breaking through to the star domain realm, the Destiny God's memories could finally be restored. However, the Destiny God seemed to have a misunderstanding about him and refused to see him, which was troublesome. He released his divine sense, searching the entire planet Blue Star, but found no trace of the deity of fate. As he withdrew his divine sense, he spotted Gu Qingcheng and the deity of fate in a pavilion outside the city lord's mansion. He hadn't concealed his divine sense's detection, and the deity of fate immediately sensed this familiar presence. The deity of fate immediately looked up and cried out, "Human Emperor, I want to see you." Xiao Ye was surprised and told Cheng Kik and Nangguang Kateo. He then flashed to the pavilion outside the city lord's mansion. He looked at the two women, who seemed to be getting along well, and asked in surprise, "What are you talking about? You're laughing so happily." Gu Qingcheng looked expectantly. "We're talking about you. Husband, I didn't expect you to be so charming. Old Gu lost his memory, but you still managed to win him over. Tisk tisk. You're so lucky. Old Gu and I have reconstructed our bodies and become virgins again, so you can experience wonderful feelings again." The deity of fate stared blankly at Xiao Ye, saying nothing. Xiao Ye blushed slightly. "Ahem, you make it sound like only I experienced this. Aren't you all the same? Deity of fate, you left too hastily this morning. I didn't even have time to explain things clearly to you. I told you, you are not a substitute for Sister Qingcheng. Sister Qingcheng is irreplaceable, and you cannot be a substitute for her either." The deity of fate stared intently. "I know, Gu Qingcheng explained it to me. Human Emperor, I have a very important question that I need you to answer." Gu Qingcheng blinked and proudly raised her head. Xiao Ye's expression was serious. "Deity of destiny, speak freely. I will tell you everything I know." The deity of destiny spoke. "Human Emperor, are your feelings for Gu Qingcheng and your feelings for the obsessive Gu Qingcheng the same?" Xiao Ye shook his head. "No. These are two different individuals. How could your feelings be the same? I love Gu Qingcheng, and I also love the obsessive Gu Qingcheng. Besides, I also feel a deep sense of guilt towards the obsessive Gu Qingcheng. I owe her so much, something that Sister Qingcheng can't compare to." The deity of destiny smiled, and under her stunning smile, the surrounding environment seemed to dim. She suddenly rushed forward, throwing herself into Xiao Ye's arms, hugging him tightly, and said, "I understand. I will never leave you again. Human Emperor, I want to regain my memories. The obsessive Gu Qingcheng shouldn't perish like this." Gu Qingcheng sat quietly to the side watching, but didn't feel jealous. Previously, old Gu had never shown his face under her husband's nose, always relying on her, Gu Qingcheng's, body. Now, old Gu was communicating with her husband face to face, not relying on her body, which made her extremely happy. If we're talking about love, old Gu definitely loved her husband more than she, Gu Qingcheng, did. After all, old Gu had guarded an empty room for 100 years in the future. His obsession and affection for her husband were unmatched by any beast girl. Xiao Ye embraced the goddess of destiny, inhaling her pleasant fragrance, resting his chin on her fragrant shoulder, and whispered, "I was just looking for you. The god of reincarnation has broken through to the star domain realm. In a moment, I can use the great divine power of reincarnation to help you restore your memories." The goddess of destiny was overjoyed. "Okay, then I'll wait for him here." Xiao Ye breathed a sigh of relief. The goddess of destiny had finally come to her senses and stopped causing trouble. The obsessive body of Sister Qingcheng could finally recover and be completely resurrected. The two embraced for a long time, until the crimson sunset cast its golden rays upon the earth, dappling their bodies and casting long shadows. Gu Qingcheng sat beside them for a long time without disturbing them. A golden portal appeared, and the stunningly beautiful reincarnation goddess sprang out, grinning. Human Emperor, little reincarnation has finally advanced to the star domain realm. Goddess of Destiny, I'll help you restore your memories right now. With that, profound and complex reincarnation runes appeared on her body, and she pointed. A mysterious point of light burst forth, transforming into a ball of light that shot towards the Goddess of Destiny. Xiao Ye, also a star domain realm cultivator with a reincarnation attribute, was embracing the Goddess of Destiny. The ball of light covered him, yet it had no effect on him whatsoever. Ugh! The Goddess of Destiny closed her eyes tightly, her brows furrowed. Her suppressed emotions were finally released. Scenes from Gu Qingcheng's past experiences as the obsessive body finally surfaced in her mind. After a long while, the Goddess of Fate relaxed her brows, opened her bright eyes, and a deep resentment appeared in them as she stared intently at Xiao Ye. Xiao Ye felt a chill run down his spine. What are you looking at? The Goddess of Fate pouted, pinched his waist hard with her jade-like hand, and scolded, Husband, you're such a beast. I haven't even regained my memories yet, and you've already devoured me completely, taking my virginity. I was thinking of giving myself to you after I was resurrected. Xiao Ye chuckled awkwardly, scratching his head sheepishly. You took the initiative. I don't refuse any of my wife's advances. It's not my fault. The Goddess of Fate's resentful eyes and dissatisfied tone meant that she had regained her memories and become the resentful woman who had guarded her empty room for 100 years, Gu Qingcheng. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 621 Obsessive Body Gu Qingcheng, Husband, I miss you so much. Sister Qingcheng, are you now the deity of destiny, or the obsessive body Gu Qingcheng? Xiao Ye asked. The deity of destiny gave a soft snort. Of course I'm Gu Qingcheng. What, you still think of me as the deity of destiny? A bitter smile appeared on Xiao Ye's lips. This resentful, bitter woman's tone definitely belonged to the obsessive body Gu Qingcheng. The tone was too strong. Then you are Sister Qingcheng with two memories? The deity of destiny nodded. I have the memories of the deity of destiny, and I also have the memories of the obsessive body. Right now, I am Gu Qingcheng, not the deity of destiny. However, since you already have a Gu Qingcheng, from now on, I will be the deity of destiny. Just call me Destiny. Husband, I miss you so much. The deity of destiny hugged Xiao Ye tightly, her longing as deep as water. Gu Qingcheng and the reincarnation god watched quietly from the side. 10 minutes later, Gu Qingcheng stepped forward and smiled. Old Gu, you've finally been resurrected. Neither of us died, in fact, we gained quite a bit. You also have a body now, something to be happy about. The deity of fate's expression was complicated. Little Gu, I no longer need to occupy your body to share a kiss with my husband. And don't waste your chance to be intimate with him, let me take over. Xiao Ye looked at the setting sun and smiled. Let's take this opportunity to stroll around the streets. I bet you three have a lot to say. The deity of reincarnation muttered, Human Emperor, what about me? Xiao Ye glanced at her. You, do as you please. Go back to the time-space palace to cultivate, or go do what you're supposed to do. The deity of reincarnation sighed. Alright, I'll go soak in the spiritual spring. I'm not used to the mortal world, soaking in the spiritual spring is much more comfortable. She knew herself well, she and the human emperor hadn't experienced much together. Her position in the human emperor's heart was definitely not as high as that of Gu Qingcheng, a beast girl who had already had a wedding. The reincarnation god departed. Xiao Ye, holding Gu Qingcheng's hand on his left and the deity god on his right, walked along the streets dyed red by the setting sun. He solemnly said, Destiny, I apologize for what happened in the future. From now on, I won't neglect you. If you have any needs, come directly to me, and I will definitely fulfill them. Qingcheng, you too. The deity god's pretty face broke into a bright smile. You said it yourself. I want you to repay me for what you owe me over the past 100 years, all at once. Once a week, for a total of 5,000 times over 100 years. Others aside, you must first compensate me for this. Gu Qingcheng also said, me too. Xiao Ye's lips twitched, but he forced a smile and said, no problem at all. With a time-space palace, one day on Blue Star was equivalent to 28,000 years in the time-space palace. Now that he had advanced to the star domain realm, the time difference could be adjusted to 280,000 years compared to one day on Blue Star. Therefore, he should be able to meet the deity god's request. The three chatted and laughed as they walked through every street and corner of the Mangyeong-based city. They also heard the joyful cheers of many city residents on the road. Ha ha ha, that trash Tang San is finally in. That trash who's done so many bad things deserved it long ago. We used to be afraid of him getting the city lord's attention and let him go. But now that I think about it, we really shouldn't have. Hell, he actually impersonated the city lord's son-in-law's brother. He's really bold. I heard that as soon as the city lord's son-in-law returned, he caught Tang San, broke Tang San's legs, and sent him in. The city lord's son-in-law? Is that the one who awakened his SSS-level Beast Tamer talent at Mangyeong No. 3 Middle School last year? Yes, that's him. His name is Xiao Ye, the one who married the city lord and the deputy city lord's daughters, the one who enjoys the blessings of having two wives. Xiao Ye is a true young talent. I heard he's the #1 prodigy of the younger generation in Shanghai and in China. They didn't recognize Xiao Ye and had no idea that the handsome young man walking by was the protagonist they were talking about. Otherwise, they would definitely be shocked. Xiao Ye led Gu Qingcheng and the deity of destiny back to the pavilion outside the city lord's mansion. After chatting along the way, the three eased their anxieties and worries from their past separation by death. Xiao Ye smiled, my in-laws are waiting for me for dinner. Shall we go in together? Cheng Bingxi and Nangong Xiao are inside too. By the way, everyone's cultivation has advanced to the perfect emperor realm. The deity of destiny, however, held him tightly, saying, no, you haven't spent enough time with me yet, you can't leave. Xiao Ye hesitated for a moment, then summoned a golden portal and entered the Hall of Time and Space with the deity of destiny and Gu Qingcheng. In the villa complex shrouded in dark clouds, the deity of destiny and Gu Qingcheng chose a villa. Gu Qingcheng generously said, you guys go ahead, I want to cultivate. The perfect saint realm is a bit too low. Call me when you're done. The deity of destiny's beautiful eyes burned with passion as she pushed Xiao Ye into the bedroom. The two began their battle. While they were engaged in their activities, the deity of destiny also revealed several events that were about to occur. Deity of destiny, husband, are you curious about the identity of the dean? Xiao Ye, slow down, is the dean alright? Deity of destiny, the dean's identity is quite astonishing. He's the one who caused your transmigration to this blue star. I'll be gentler. Xiao Ye, what? You actually know I'm a transmigrator? Deity of destiny, gulp, of course. This universe isn't unique, there are universes beyond universes, a multiverse. The Dean is actually a condensed consciousness of the Great Dao's origin in this universe. I just don't know why he wanted to capture you from another universe. Xiao Ye, let's rest for a bit, we'll fight again later. The Dean's origins are truly astonishing. He appears as an elderly man to me. Deity of destiny, rest my foot. You're at the star domain realm, I'm only at the emperor realm. Let's go. Husband, the Dean is probably in the desolate realm right now, releasing the creatures there. Blue Star will undergo a major change, you need to be prepared. Not only that, but various powerful races from across the universe will also come to Blue Star because of the aura of the desolate realm. At that time, Blue Star will be targeted by various powerful forces, and the creatures of the desolate realm will wreak havoc. Xiao Ye, I won't rest, I'm just worried you can't handle it. Then how should I deal with it? The deity of fate, it's alright, I can handle it. You only need to lead us to resist the invasion of the powerful races from the universe and restrict the movements of the creatures of the desolate realm. Of course, the most pressing issue right now is the domain lord power of the beast hunting star field. The desolate realm, the powerful races from the universe, are after the domain lord power of the beast hunting star field. Xiao Ye gasped. 128 hours passed. They talked a lot during this time, and Xiao Ye learned about some events that would occur in the coming period. First, the domain lord power of the Xie Ye imperial clan of the beast hunting star field, belonging to the Milky Way, would descend upon Blue Star, seize the various fundamental rules of Blue Star, and enslave the various gods. What he needed to do was resist the domain lord power of the Xiao Ye Imperial Starfield. After that, the desolate realm opened, and various superpowers of the universe set their sights on Blue Star, coming with great force. Chapter 622 The First Empress Wants to Become a Plaything? 128 hours had passed since Xiao Ye entered the Hall of Time and Space. He had been fulfilling the wishes of the deity of destiny every minute and second, not wasting a single second. Looking somewhat tired, he asked, "Destiny, I've fulfilled your wishes 120 times already. Is this enough for now?" The deity of destiny replied with satisfaction, "No problem, come again next time." If I'm not mistaken, the overlord-level forces of the beast hunting starfield have already sent people to demand an explanation. HMPH, the Milky Way and the White Horse Galaxy have been fighting for hundreds of thousands of years, and they didn't care. Now that the demon lord of the White Horse Galaxy has been eliminated, they come to the Milky Way. What a big shot. After bathing, the two dressed neatly and came to the living room. They saw Gu Qingchang cultivating. Gu Qingchang had broken through to the early stage of the quasi-emperor realm and was beginning to condense her origin body, preparing for her breakthrough to the emperor realm. Seeing the two emerge, she whistled, her eyes gleaming, and said, "Husband, you've satisfied old Gu, isn't it my turn now?" Xiao Ye stumbled, nearly falling, and hurriedly waved his hand, "Let me catch my breath, or I'll die on a woman's belly sooner or later." He was still feeling empty inside, in a state of sagehood. No matter how beautiful Gu Qingchang was, no matter how good her figure, he had no interest in appreciating her. Gu Qingchang chuckled, "I'll let you go for now. I'll come back for you after I break through to the star domain realm. HMPH, I'm only at the quasi-emperor realm now, I definitely can't beat you, and my physical strength isn't good enough either. If I fight you, I'll be the one begging for mercy. I'm going to break through to the star domain realm and thoroughly subdue you, making you beg for mercy." Xiao Ye's face darkened. The god of destiny chuckled wickedly, "I'll also cultivate here, and come find you after I reach the star domain realm." Xiao Ye sighed. He couldn't resist, so he could only accept it. He calmly said, "The fundamental rules of destiny in this world have not yet been awakened. You can try to awaken them to aid your cultivation. You all possess destiny-related attributes, so you can control the fundamental rules of destiny together and break through to the star domain realm together. Of course, without sufficient resources, your cultivation speed will be slower, but that's alright. 280,000 years in the time-space hall is only one day on Blue Star, so you don't need to worry about your cultivation time." The deity of destiny and Gu Qingchang nodded and together pushed Xiao Ye out of the villa. Xiao Ye stepped through the golden light gate and arrived at the pavilion outside the Mengxuan city. 128 hours had passed in the time-space hall, but less than 10 seconds had passed on Blue Star. Inside the city lord's mansion, the lights were bright, and the Nangong family was still having dinner. Xiao Ye entered and happily ate with his two in-laws, chatting about the development of Mengxuan city and their visions for the future. Nangguang Xiao and Cheng Bingxi planned to stay in Mengxuan city for a while, and Xiao Ye agreed. After embracing the two stunningly beautiful young women and falling asleep. The next morning, as the sky began to lighten, Xiao Ye sensed a powerful aura from beyond Blue Star. With a thought, he instantly teleported to the starry sky. The primordial queen was confronting a powerful being with an effeminate appearance. The effeminate man, holding a Star Patrol officer's badge, looked down at her and said, "The Milky Way galaxy disrupted the balance between galaxies, annihilating the gods of the White Horse Galaxy in one fell swoop. The Domain Lord is furious and has ordered me to arrest the Primordial Empress of the Milky Way Galaxy." "Primordial Empress? You will come with me to the Purple Star Emperor to face the Domain Lord's questioning." The Primordial Empress curled her lip, disdainfully saying, "Master? What does our Milky Way Galaxy's annihilation of the White Horse Galaxy's demonic path have to do with your Purple Star Emperor? When the White Horse Galaxy's demonic path launched a massive invasion of the Milky Way Galaxy, you turned a blind eye. We just annihilated the White Horse Galaxy's demonic path, and you come to question us. Purple Star Emperor, you look like a joke." The effeminate man's face darkened, and he rebuked, "Disrespecting the Domain Lord, your crime is compounded. Does your Milky Way Galaxy want to bear the wrath of the Purple Star Emperor and be exiled?" The Primordial Empress's eyebrows furrowed, forming a deep frown. The Xiao Ye Emperor star system is the dominant star system in the Beast Consortium, and the Domain Lord is the highest leader of the Beast Consortium. The Milky Way and White Horse star systems are two remote and small star systems among the more than 1,000 star systems under the Beast Consortium. If the Xie Ye Emperor star were to send a powerful being to wipe out the Milky Way would have no power to resist, and all living beings and gods would be eliminated. Even her elder sister, the Time Empress, did not have the strength to contend with the Xie Ye Emperor star. Alice the Ancestral Empress sighed, her face full of sorrow, and asked, I will go with you to the Xie Ye Emperor star to atone for my sins. Can you ask how the Domain Lord will punish me? She compromised. Having lived in the Milky Way for 500,000 years and protected Blue Star for 500,000 years, Blue Star and the Milky Way were extremely important to her. Punishment was nothing more than atonement, which could be completed in 10,000 to 20,000 years. After that, she could return to Blue Star. Upon hearing this, the effeminate man smiled, his gaze appreciatively sweeping over the primordial empress. Jealousy and envy flickered in his eyes as he said, You're very lucky. The Domain Lord has taken a liking to you. You only need to serve him for 10,000 years, and then you can leave. Of course, if you have the means to please the Domain Lord, you might even be able to become his concubine. At that time, one person's rise to power will elevate their entire family, and the Milky Way will also receive the Domain Lord's favor, undergoing a rank advancement. Serving the Domain Lord for 10,000 years? That's just becoming his plaything. The primordial empress looked down, not seeing her toes. Her figure and face were perfect, any man with desire would be tempted by her. The effeminate man said patiently, I can give you a day to think it over. You must understand, not every woman will be favored by the Domain Lord. You should seize this opportunity. The primordial empress became expressionless, revealing neither joy nor sorrow. Becoming the Domain Lord's plaything for 10,000 years? If that were the case, 10,000 years from now, she would have already become a Domain Lord, and she estimated that she would be completely ruined. Let alone 10,000 years, she wouldn't even do it once. She had recently fallen for the human emperor, and even if she hadn't, she wouldn't want to be anyone's plaything, not even once. But if she didn't go to the Purple Star Emperor star with this star official, the Milky Way and Blue Star would be in danger. For a moment, the Ancestral Empress was caught in a dilemma, unsure of what to do. Xiao Ye appeared beside her and said softly, Your Majesty, leave it to me. Even if it's punishment, I'll go. He stood in front of the Ancestral Empress, glancing disdainfully at the star official, and sneered, You little punk, only at the peak of the Emperor realm, dare to act so arrogantly in the Milky Way, dare to be so rampant outside Blue Star? Who gave you the guts? Star official? Here, we don't recognize star officials, we only recognize ourselves. Give it to me. Xiao Ye grabbed the effeminate man's star official token with a powerful grab, crushing it into nickel powder with a crushing blow. The effeminate man gritted his teeth, enraged, and said arrogantly, A bunch of bumpkins, living in a small place, never seen the world. You don't even know what a star official is? Your Milky Way is going to get what's coming to you. Chapter 623 The First Empress is enraged and kills the Starry Sky official. Looking at the tall, imposing figure blocking her path, the Ancestral Empress was deeply moved. In the past, she had always been the one standing at the forefront, shielding her from danger. The front lines of the battlefield weren't always hers, the Ancestral Empress. But now, she, the Ancestral Empress, could be protected by someone else, someone to shield her from peril. The Ancestral Empress's expression was complex as she spoke. Wait? I'm willing to go with you to the Purple Star Emperor. Xiao Ye was taken aback, turning his head. Your Majesty, are you willing to become that Domain Lord's plaything? To become the rotten field that the Domain Lord toils day and night? The Ancestral Empress shook her head. Of course not. But if I don't go, the Milky Way will suffer exile from the Purple Star Emperor, and Blue Star will also suffer as a result. Perhaps if I go, I can persuade the Domain Lord to change the punishment. Xiao Ye frowned. The effeminate man from the Starry Sky Palace's eyes lit up. Ancestor Empress, you're quite sensible. As long as you behave, the Domain Lord won't punish you, in fact, he'll reward you. Serve the Domain Lord well from now on. As for this bastard who crushed the Starry Sky Palace's token, he's committed insubordination and deserves death. The Purple Star Emperor will send a powerful expert to kill him on a chosen day. The majesty of the Purple Star Emperor cannot be challenged. The Ancestor Empress raised an eyebrow and said coldly, You want to kill the human emperor? Can't you forgive him this time? He acted unintentionally, not to offend you. The effeminate man's face darkened. Ancestor Empress, it's true you're favored by the Domain Lord, but things should be considered separately. This bastard deserves to die. The Ancestor Empress's expression changed drastically, and she immediately attacked, unleashing a powerful Emperor-level pressure. Boom. The effeminate man from the Starry Sky Palace was instantly imprisoned, unable to even blink. The Primordial Empress roared, "Your Xie Ye Imperial Star is truly going too far. Since you've come, don't go back. Stay here forever." Space shattered, its very essence sealed. The star official's eyes widened in terror, and he cried out hastily, "Wait! I can forgive and forget, please let me go." The Primordial Empress sneered, "Too late. You can threaten me, but you, human emperor, have no right to." As if the star official had touched a raw nerve, the Primordial Empress erupted in fury. In an instant, the space of the starry sky shattered. All its essence, sealed away, crumbled along with it. The star official, a yin-yang male being, was a cosmic being, not a god. His body and soul perished along with the shattered space. In milliseconds, the star official, a yin-yang male being, was dead, leaving not even a soul behind, utterly annihilated. Xiao Ye was utterly astonished. "Empress, what's wrong? Why did you suddenly kill him?" The ancestral empress's emotions gradually calmed down, and she coldly snorted, "This man was too arrogant. I had already agreed to go to the Xie Ye Emperor Star with him, but he still threatened your life. I'm fine with dying. But you are the human emperor of Blue Star. The fate of the universe cannot be threatened. Besides," her proud and beautiful face flushed slightly, and she thought to herself, "Besides, I love you, and I can't bear to see you threatened. You are my Achilles heel." Xiao Ye clapped his hands and laughed, "Good job killing him. I didn't intend to let him go anyway. So what if it's the Xie Ye Emperor Star? So what if it's a Domain Lord level power? If they dare to come, we'll kill them. When I'm strong enough, I'll go directly to the Xie Ye Emperor Star and destroy their lair." With the Hall of Time and Space in hand, he spoke with complete confidence. The overall strength of the Xie Ye Emperor Star system was only one level higher than the Milky Way, not much higher. The Domain Lord's realm was only at the Dominator realm, above the Star Domain level. Give him some time, and Xiao Ye can also advance to the Dominator realm, as can the Beast Girls. The Dominator realm poses no threat. Seeing Xiao Ye's confident smile, the Primordial Queen also smiled. She stared at Xiao Ye for a long time, then asked eagerly, "Human Emperor, has the Destiny God's memory been restored? You promised me before that after her memory was restored, you would modify my body, giving me a cosmic being's body as a seed. My cultivation has been stagnant at the perfect Emperor realm for over 10,000 years. I want to become stronger." Xiao Ye nodded, "It's restored. Yesterday, the Reincarnation God broke through to the Star Domain realm and restored the Destiny God's memory. As for modifying my body, if you need it, I naturally won't refuse. But..." His expression turned somewhat strange as he said this. The Primordial Queen grew anxious. "But what?" Xiao Ye moved his lips and said, "Body modification requires a full body massage. You must be completely naked. I will massage you inch by inch, modifying your body's structure. This will require a great deal of sacrifice." The Primordial Queen waved her hands speechlessly. "It's just letting you see and touch? Even reincarnated gods can do it, so can I. It's just body modification, not some shady business." She already liked Xiao Ye, letting him see her body was fine. If she could marry him in the future, that would be even better. Xiao Ye paused for a moment, then said, "All right, but I need to make this clear first. You can't imprison me and then force yourself on me while you're modifying my body. The Reincarnation Goddess did that, forcing me to take responsibility for her. You're the Primordial Empress, you wouldn't do that, would you?" The Primordial Empress's bright eyes lit up. "You can do that? You really will take responsibility?" Xiao Ye was taken aback, his lips twitching. "What, you want to imitate her? I'm warning you, I don't like being passive, I like being proactive. Whether it's a beast girl or a god, I don't like being forced. The Reincarnation Goddess already infuriated me. If it weren't for her ability to help the Destiny Goddess regain her memories, I wouldn't even want to deal with her." The Primordial Empress pursed her lips. "Fine, I won't do anything reckless, okay?" Xiao Ye stared at her for a long time. Damn, the Primordial Empress actually has those kinds of thoughts? What's wrong with these gods? The reincarnation goddess wants to marry him. Could the primordial empress be the same? The primordial queen blushed, lowered her head slightly, and brushed a stray strand of hair behind her ear, revealing her delicate, white earlobe and fair neck. Xiao Ye coughed and said, changing the body might take several hours. It's too time-consuming on Blue Star. Let's go into the Hall of Time and Space. He waved his hand, conjuring a golden portal, and stepped inside. The primordial queen's heart pounded. She looked down at her graceful figure, thinking, I hope the human emperor will fall in love with me, then I can be his wife. I wonder where my sister is. The human emperor has lowered his guard against me now and trusts me enough. All I need is an opportunity to confess my feelings, deepen our relationship, and become his wife. Sigh, I really envy that guy, Samsara. He became the human emperor's wife so quickly. I've tried for so long, and we're still just friends. Disappointed, she stepped out and entered the golden portal. The golden light gate flashed and disappeared. Chapter 624 Solving the Physical Defects of the First Empress. Inside the Temple of Time and Space, the primordial queen curiously surveyed the villa complex. It's so deserted here. With so many houses, can your beast girls really fit? Or I could have all the gods in my faction live here too. Xiao Ye led her to the villa next to Gu Qingchang's. Hearing her words, he stumbled and nearly fell. He quickly waved his hand, rejecting the idea. No, only my beast girls and my gods can reside in the Temple of Time and Space. Outsiders are not allowed. The primordial queen's pretty face inexplicably flushed, her eyes darting around. Outsiders not allowed? Did the human emperor mean I was also his god? Oh dear, he hadn't even confessed yet. Xiao Ye opened the villa door and smiled. I'll modify your body in this villa. The goddess of destiny is next door, you should be able to sense her aura. The primordial queen was overjoyed. Entering the villa was like looking at a wedding home. Her heart was filled with sweetness and excitement. She flitted through all the rooms like a jubilant deer, her eyes brimming with joy. Human emperor, does this villa belong to me now? I can come into the time-space palace anytime, right? Xiao Ye frowned and said, it's just a temporary place to stay. You're not my wife, so you can't just come into the time-space palace whenever you want. The ancestral empress's overjoyed heart felt as if it had been grabbed by a large hand, leaving her feeling empty. A look of disappointment appeared on her pretty face. She had been so happy for nothing. She thought the human emperor considered her his wife. Sigh, does the human emperor even have those kinds of feelings for me? If I confess directly, will he reject me? If the human emperor rejects me, can we still get along as friends like before? The ancestral empress was filled with anxiety and pouting her cherry lips in dissatisfaction. Seeing her changing expressions, Xiao Ye hesitated and said, Your Majesty, if you feel that a massage is not suitable, I can provide you with a cultivation method of the divine path. Although advancement is more difficult than the path of the cosmic beings, it's still possible to advance all the way. The primordial queen panicked. No, I'd be happy to show you everything. Hands are fine too. Xiao Ye, The primordial queen realized she had let something slip, her pretty face flushed, and her eyes darted away. Let's start modifying our bodies quickly. She pulled Xiao Ye into the bedroom. Right in front of him, she removed her clothes, facing Xiao Ye with complete openness. She was somewhat impatient. The primordial queen straightened her body and boasted, Human Emperor, how about it? Are you satisfied with my body? Compared to your beast girls, mine is just as good, isn't it? Xiao Ye swallowed hard and said, Lie down. Let me mentally rehearse your exclusive massage technique first. Once the success rate reaches over 80%, we'll proceed with a formal massage. The primordial queen was truly amazing. She was top-notch, absolutely perfect, without a single flaw. Even with over a dozen beast girls, he had to admit it. The queen, truly worthy of being called the queen. Seeing him staring intently at her, the primordial queen's lips curled slightly, and she was quite satisfied. Hell, you old lecherous human emperor, let's see how I handle you. If you just pounce on me and you, that would be even better. Xiao Ye urged, What are you still standing there for? Lie down. Each god's body modification technique is different. I need to mentally rehearse it first. The primordial queen nodded and laid down. Xiao Ye stood not far away, watching intently. He activated the template adjuster's detection function spatial origin body defect, a shell that houses the will, fundamentally different from living beings, unable to cultivate, must rely on the advancement of the original body to break through realm solution, Transform into cosmic being's body using the body as a seed. The massage technique can be extracted. Xiao Ye extracted the massage technique and began practicing it in his mind. The massage technique for transforming the body was millions of times more difficult than the massage technique for solving the template problem. Even though he had helped the reincarnation god transform a body before, this time the practice speed was faster, but it still required considerable time. He stared intently at the ancestral queen's crystal clear body, her entire body like jade without a single impurity, gradually practicing the massage technique in his mind. The primordial empress smirked. Human emperor, my body was condensed with the help of my sister, the time empress. Its complexity far surpasses that of the reincarnation god's body. You're just watching? The progress is slow. Why don't you get your hands dirty and familiarize yourself with my special origin body? Xiao Ye's expression turned serious. Don't speak, I've reached a crucial step. The primordial empress shut up. But she spread her limbs, performing a split. Xiao Ye nearly lost his composure. Only after the crucial steps were rehearsed did he speak. Your Majesty, what are you doing? There's no need for this. The Empress smiled faintly. You're not participating, so I'm opening my arms and legs so you can see more clearly. Xiao Ye gave her a thumbs up. Your Majesty, you're truly amazing. So generous. The Empress chuckled proudly. No matter what, I, Your Majesty, have never backed down. Whether facing the demon lord of the White Horse Galaxy, the star official, or even facing you directly, I won't back down. She was extremely proud of herself. The Empress's eyes were wide open, almost bulging out of their sockets. What did this mean? It meant she was beautiful. But Xiao Ye's next words immediately broke her defenses. Do you often show yourself to others? You seem quite adept at it. The Empress's smile froze, her hair standing on end like a cat's fur standing on end. She retorted, nonsense. Apart from the god of destruction, the god of reincarnation, and my sister, these three female gods, I've never shown myself to anyone else. Even with divine companions, I wouldn't expose my limbs like that. You're the only man in the world to have seen my body. Human Emperor, do you think I'm promiscuous? Xiao Ye waved his hand, mentally rehearsing a secret technique, and said, no, just saying. The ancestral Empress gave a soft snort. You can't just say things like that. I only show myself to the human emperor whom I, the Empress, approve of. Xiao Ye was somewhat bewildered. A human emperor approved of? Are there any other human emperors in this world? Although the ancestral Empress said this, her beautiful face, as red as a ripe apple, betrayed her inner turmoil. She, too, could be shy. She was just suppressing it. Regardless of whether this body could attract the human emperor and make him fall in love with her. She was determined to break free from the ranks of gods and embark on the cultivation path of cosmic beings. Stuck at the peak of the Emperor realm for over 10,000 years, having tried thousands of times to break through to the star domain realm, she could attempt to do so once her body was fully modified. Half an hour passed as the two joked and teased each other. Xiao Ye finished rehearsing the body modification technique in his mind and said seriously, Your Majesty, I've finished the deduction. We can officially begin the massage. Are you ready? The primordial Empress said nonchalantly, I've been ready for a long time. Go ahead, I can handle it. Okay. Xiao Ye immediately began. Chapter 625 The First Empress's Little Thoughts. The body transformation secret method is a full body massage transformation, combined with a template adjuster, to modify the body's internal structure. It involves altering DNA, genes, meridians, acupoints, and everything else. This is a massive undertaking. Xiao Ye needs to massage and transform the ancestral queen's limbs, torso, and head sequentially, using the power of the template adjustment to transform her into the body of a cosmic being with her as the seed. Your Majesty, massage the limbs first, then the torso, and finally the head. During the massage, you might feel intense pain. If you can't help but cry out, go ahead. I won't laugh at you. The ancestral queen snorted, cry out? Nonsense. I'm the Empress. Wait a minute, human emperor, do you prefer an empress who cries out, or one who doesn't? Xiao Ye's lips twitched. Are you joking? We're just having a normal massage. He stopped wasting time and got to work. The first step was a pair of jade feet. His rough, large hands directly grasped the ancestral queen's crystalline jade feet. These jade feet, white with a hint of pink, were as translucent as jade, like works of art, absolutely perfect. They felt cool and smooth to the touch, without any athlete's foot, and had a faint fragrance. People say that whether someone's feet smell bad or not is a matter of appearance. But the ancestral queen didn't need to look at their face, she could tell just by smelling them. The fragrance was wonderful. Xiao Ye swallowed hard. This fragrance was far better than roasted pig's trotters. If he took a bite, it would taste amazing. What was he thinking? He would never bite those jade feet. Absolutely not. He had never done so. He swore it again and again. Seeing him swallow, the ancestral queen asked suspiciously, "Human Emperor, is there a problem?" Xiao Ye shook his head, clearing his mind of these thoughts. "No problem. I was just wondering if you'll ever get married, and which being in the universe will benefit from that. Whoever marries you must have saved the galaxy in their past life." He located the acupoints and began massaging them. Massage techniques include pricking, rubbing, tapping, kneading, hammering, and striking. The primordial queen felt a sharp pain, gasped, and said, "Human Emperor, didn't you save the Milky Way not long ago? Without you, the star battlefield defenses might have completely collapsed. Human Emperor, do you want me to get married?" After massaging the first foot acupoint, Xiao Ye began massaging the second body acupoint. Hiss. The queen gasped again. Pain, this pain that penetrated to the bone, piercing through her will, was truly excruciating. No wonder the reincarnated god cried out so loudly last time. She, the queen, almost couldn't help but scream herself. Xiao Ye said seriously, "Whether you marry or not is up to you. However, you are a god, so your thoughts may differ somewhat from humans. Being a member of the unmarried class is perfectly normal." He massaged while using the power of the template adjuster to modify the internal structure of her jade feet. In just that short time, a few drops of sweat seeped from his forehead. The body-modifying massage method was truly exhausting. He wiped his forehead, the lingering fragrance on his hands. He sniffed it, feeling much better. The primordial queen let out an "oh," inwardly displeased. "HMPH, I already reminded you, you saved the galaxy, you're qualified to marry me. You blockhead. How can you not understand what I mean?" But then, her face paled, and she groaned softly. Pain. It hurt so much. Even as the primordial queen, she couldn't bear this excruciating pain. HMPH, a soft, authoritative groan echoed in the room. This was the queen's signature groan. Xiao Ye wiped the sweat from his forehead again and began modifying the acupoints on the primordial queen's other foot. He paid no attention to the queen's groans, and even if he did, he wouldn't care. Ugh! The primordial queen covered her face with her hands, her cheeks flushed, steam rising from her head. She actually cried out in front of the human emperor. "This is so embarrassing. I'm the primordial empress, the strongest deity besides the time empress. How could I possibly call out like that? Especially in front of my beloved." She parted her hands that were covering her face, her shy, bright eyes peeking at Xiao Ye's expression. She found he completely ignored her. The empress. Is my calling out really that unattractive? Xiao Ye was diligently massaging her, completely absorbed, and had no time to guess the empress's thoughts. An hour passed, and he finally finished massaging her limbs. Next, it was time for the body massage. Staring at the primordial empress's shapely body, he coughed, "Empress, are you ready for the body massage?" The primordial empress looked at him quietly, "Ready." Xiao Ye nodded, "Modifying the body might be even more painful for you. You must control the surge of your primal energy, otherwise this villa will be easily destroyed." The primordial empress hummed in agreement. After giving his instructions, Xiao Ye began massaging. The human body has far more acupoints than the limbs. The massage process had reached the middle stage. The skin felt soft and smooth to the touch. Xiao Ye swore he was focused on the massage, his mind completely pure. The complexity of the massage process left him no room for other thoughts. He had to concentrate entirely on transforming the body. Otherwise, the slightest mistake would lead to failed massage, and the ancestral empress would lose this body and need to be rebuilt. HMPH, the ancestral empress seemed to have sensitive spots, especially in her most sensitive areas. During the massage, she couldn't bear the excruciating pain and cried out. At first, she was shy. But after realizing the human emperor wasn't paying attention, she let go, opening her heart and crying out whenever she felt pain. The sound carried far, reaching a range of 10 kilometers. Even the destiny god in Gu King Chang next door heard it. Xiao Ye, still massaging, was utterly astonished. Seriously? Even the reincarnation god didn't scream that loudly. You, the primordial empress, are even more outrageous than the reincarnation god. Didn't you say you were an empress, fearless of everything? But it must be said, the primordial empress's unique cry is indeed very special. He sped up the process, pushing the speed to the maximum. An hour later, the body massage was complete, and they reached the final step of the modification project. The head. Xiao Ye walked to the primordial empress's head, looked at her flushed face and dazed eyes, and gave her a flick on the forehead. Thump. Hey, Empress, wake up. That expression makes it seem like I've done something to you. The first Empress's ears turned bright red, and she said shyly, actually, I wouldn't mind if you did something to me. Xiao Ye was dumbfounded. Huh? The first Empress quickly changed her words. I said you could give me a massage, I wouldn't mind. Are we at the final step, human emperor? Can you be a little gentler on my head? I'm too embarrassed to make a sound when you look at me like that. Xiao Ye's lips twitched. Okay, I'll try to be gentle, but let's make it clear first, modifying the body involves modifying the internal structure of your head, so the pain won't be reduced much? The first Empress nodded vigorously. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all, see you in the next video.